Hi, y'all. Welcome, welcome. We are here. Well, I am here waiting for Red to get here. We are doing a co-host live. So let's see. There we go. All right, she already live, so she'll see that invite and we will be good to go. Why? Tell them Mr. FNT RedLip. Y'all up in a good life. I'm trying to tell you. I'm getting my lips red, girl. Hey, girl, hey. I found a good picture of him, didn't I? You look good. You did. I went with the compare and contrast picture from the film and the real Michael. Oh, okay. That's a good one. Because we talking about the film, so I mean, we got to give props to Jaafar. We gonna talk about it because his portrayal was something else. Yeah, he about to get all the coochie his uncle didn't get. That's all I know. Jesus Christ. Hey, go ahead, come on in. We are going to be discussing the film Michael. We were supposed to start an hour ago. That is all my fault, y'all. We are on 2 different time zones. Red is East Coast. I am Central. And baby, even though I kept saying 8 East Coast, it wasn't registering in my brain. I got till 8 o'clock to get my life together and make sure these kids eat and all that. So we here now. So hopefully everybody saw the post letting y'all know of the time change, the delay. But we here, and we will be talking about the film Michael. Me and Red will do a film review. Now, if you have ever seen a film review from us before, which we only did Sinners, and it was phenomenal, y'all in for a good time. We want y'all to interact with us and give your thoughts on the film. Hopefully you saw it. If you did not and you choose to stay in this live, I don't want to hear nothing about no spoilers. We're literally talking about the film. If your ass was born 1990 and above, it ain't no damn spoiler. You was there. You were there. You were there. If the only people who you can ruin this movie for is people born after 95. That's the only people you can ruin this movie for. You can't even ruin it for them. Everything in this movie, my kids knew, and they was born in the 2000s. But that's because you ain't mama. Everybody not as fortunate. Hey, Stephanie. Hey, boo. So yes, y'all, we are going to be talking about the film Michael. We giving people a chance to get here because of the time change. We were supposed to start about an hour ago. We had a delay, but we here now. So we want y'all to send this live out, share it with people, let them know that we are here. Can I share while we co-hosting? I tried that before and it didn't work. Let me see. Don't give me the line. Heck no, I ain't about to do it. Why? All right, so while we are waiting, let's talk about some fun. Let's do something fun real quick because it's been floating on the internet and trending. Of course, Michael's been trending, his life, his music, his family, all that stuff. But some fun icebreaker type stuff for y'all who are already here and watching. So first question is a versus question. Which would you take? Okay, let's do something fun. Which Michael Jackson album is the best between, hold on. Which Michael Jackson album is the best between Off the Wall, Thriller, and Bad? What's your choice with those 3? Hold on, you said between what now? Off the Wall, Thriller, and Bad. Those 3, because that became a talking point in our house. I'm gonna let you go first. So for me, Lord Jesus, for me, it is bad. It is bad. Bad has, mind you, I can listen to any Michael Jackson album top to bottom, but Bad that's the one for me. It was bad. Hell. It was bad. It was bad. Now, had I had that question and said between Off the Wall and Thriller, I would have chose Off the Wall. But once Bad enters in, it's bad for me. So before seeing the movie, it was bad. Not the movie changed your vote. Growing up for me, my 2 favorite Michael Jackson albums of all time are Bad and History Book 1, Past, Present, Future. Those are my 2 favorite Michael Jackson albums, period. Now, after
after seeing the movie, I went on this binge where I listened to the whole Michael Jackson discography, y'all.
Same.
And after listening to it again, Off the Wall need more motherfucking respect. Y'all really playing with me. And then watching the movie, understanding that he's working Jackson 5 during the day and in the studio doing Off the Wall at night. And it's going like, y'all don't understand that was Michael Jackson at his rawest and most original. So Off the Wall, to me, of the three, is the best album, knowing more of the story.
Okay, so you basing it off the story then.
That's off of my personal preference. Bad and History Book 1, and I'm so sad he never got to make Book 2. But those are my two favorite albums for real. Based on what we will be discussing tonight, Off the Wall, baby. I've been in this bitch, gonna leave that 9 to 5 up on the shelf and just enjoy yourself. That shit about listen, you can play that today and the party not gonna stop rocking.
Listen, y'all stay for the whole live because at the end we gonna jam to some of the songs.
You know what? I dare say this. The new Chris Brown album is going to be the 2026 Off the Wall.
Now.
I dare say that.
I have now, hear me out. Take away all of Chris Brown's problematic stuff. Take away all of that for a moment. We are just talking about the art itself. I struggle so much to ever put anybody in the same sentence as Michael Jackson. I can't do it. I can't. Like, it could be a phenomenal album, but I do not think it will reach any of Michael's albums. I just don't.
Oh no, let's not sound foolish here. I'm not saying that.
Okay. Oh, that's not what you're
saying. Of Chris Brown's creativity, his peak.
It'll be his peak album.
That would be for him.
You think his new album that's coming out will be his peak album?
Yes.
Okay.
Because Brown is already coming out the gate very artistically fresh from Chris Brown. And it feels like a new renaissance of his era. And that's what Off the Wall was for Michael Jackson.
Okay.
So that's what I think Brown is. Not that in any way, shape, or form that Christopher Maurice is close to Michael Joseph. That is never going to be the conversation.
Okay, cool.
I ain't falling but my head. Now, I am delusional when it comes to Beyonce. I'm very delusional because she's a fellow Virgo and her work ethic and so forth and beyond. So, and with the father dynamic, all that. So I am going to say very loosely in my most delusional state of being, that would be Beyonce. If we're doing a Michael Jackson direct comparison. But I don't feel like fighting y'all, so I'm going to get off that.
Yeah, because we not going to do that, because that would be, we talking about the film. Now, the reason we are not on the film yet is because we're waiting to see and let people get here since we changed the time. So I'm going to ask another question of y'all, another Michael-related question. Best Michael Jackson video. Your opinion on what his best video was. I already got my answer, and it ain't never changed. It's been what it is, and I don't think it's ever going to change.
I'm gonna let you do your thing.
For me, the best Michael Jackson video, hands down, is Remember the Time.
Come on.
Period. Ain't nothing topping Remember the Time for me. And I love all his videos. Let's not even cheapen it to say that Michael made music videos. No, Michael made short films. Be clear. His best short film was Remember the Time.
And recent fun facts, because I watched the documentary. Invincible was supposed to be what Self-Titled was for Beyonce, and Sony sabotaged it. Invincible was supposed to be an album that had all accompanying music videos. Had Michael Jackson done that, then he would have made the history Beyonce made. So he was meant to do it first. Invincible was supposed to be an entire film of every track on that album. And I hate that they sabotaged that for him. I hate that.
Hill Hall said Thriller. You know what? I feel like Thriller is just people's, because so let's be clear. A lot of us who love Michael actually weren't there in that era. Even if we're older. Like, I was born in the 80s. And I still wasn't there to experience people like other people who are older to experience seeing Thriller for the first time when it first dropped. I can only imagine what that was like for y'all. But I think people automatically go to Thriller just because we know everything that Thriller meant and everything that went into it. And it was such a big moment in history. But that, to me, is still not his best video.
Yeah, and honestly, we got to start telling the truth. We got to stop reducing his greatest work to that piece of work.
The Thriller.
In the end, that's not the best thing he ever created.
It's not.
It was the freshest and the most newest thing ever to be created, period. And y'all confused that with being the best thing he ever did. Yeah. I think it was the best thing of an era. It was the best thing of its time. It's not his best work, period. I feel like he performed equal to or better than Thriller regularly. And that's why people took it for granted.
Every time.
We gathered around the TV when his videos came out in the 80s. Hey, reality base, listen, I gather around the TV for a rerun to this day, so I know you ain't lying. All I'm saying is, because of the groundbreaking work it was at the time, the nostalgia makes people delusional into carrying it out forever. When in reality, everything he did before and after was of the same work ethic and quality. To reduce him to his best work being Thriller is selfish.
I think so.
In my opinion, no shade.
I wholeheartedly agree. Especially considering that, I mean, none of us can speak for Michael himself, but I feel like, and we're going to get into the movie because this ties into the movie, when he was able to truly step away for the very first time, I feel like for him, he would have put Bad, the album, over Thriller. Because Thriller was his big moment, but Bad was his moment. Not
only that, girl, remember, Bad is his best tour he ever did. When you ask Michael himself personally, Bad tour was the only tour he enjoyed.
Because he hated touring.
Hated it. But he said the Bad tour was just a breath of fresh air.
And I think it was because he was free. I think it's because he felt free. Even though, and we don't get into talking about, you know, how the movie portrayed his trauma and his history and all of that. But that moment where he walked away from the Jackson 5, that victory tour, and started to create Bad, I think that's the first time and maybe the only time he truly felt freedom. And that's a different type of feeling for somebody like him.
Yes.
So anyway, how y'all doing? Hey, welcome. So we have rambled a little bit and talked a little bit about the music, and we're gonna keep talking about that.
I'm almost ready to get on camera.
Red, you screen ready yet, child?
I'm almost screen ready. See, this is the messed up part. I was ready, right? And then I got beside myself and said, "Oh, since I got more time, let me do more." And now I done fucked it up. So now I'm trying to. I was doing the most for my baby daddy. I was doing the most for my baby daddy / father, and I know that sounds disgusting, but depending on what time it was, is how I see him.
How you see Michael?
Yeah, depending on what time it is, where I see him at.
Okay.
But I do want to say this because we talking about favorite music videos. It's so many. I personally love everything Michael Jackson ever did.
Same.
But my favorite, there are two I hold equally. Who is it? That is my motherfucking music video.
Wow.
It was well filmed. It was well written. It was well acted.
Okay. And I haven't heard nobody pick that. So that's interesting.
Who is it is a video. You hear me? And the video is not flashy. It's not about choreography. Michael was giving you top tier premium storytelling. Okay. It was an excellent one. Even down to the ending where she tries to escape. Because for all of you who haven't seen it, there's a woman who's being human schmafficked. And she gets sent to him, but this agency that sends these women out, it's like they're very upscale. And so they give you the appearance that the women are normal women. So Michael fell in love with this woman and his private investigator finds out that she's a call girl. So what he thinks. So what happened was, because she was not honest with him and told him she needed help, he leaves her thinking she's just a hoe.
Wow.
And then she missed the flight to catch him to help her, and she had to go back to the pimps, and they slapped her on the on the helicopter pad. And I was like, we were top tier storytelling with this. Who Is It is a film.
Every video of his though was top, and that's what we're gonna talk about too. We're gonna talk about the heavy meaning behind his music. Like, every song has some meaning to it, some far more than others, and some talk more about like bigger issues that people don't even people don't even seem to grasp the scale in which he understood and saw the world. Reality Based, thanks for the follow. Kel Hall said, "Have you seen My Childhood?" is also a very great video, and it is. That's why we can't reduce him just to Thriller. That's why what Red said is true. To keep reducing that man to Thriller and that being his big moment or biggest moment, no, he did too much after that. He did way too much after that to keep saying, "Oh, it's just Thriller. It's just," but Thriller was wonderful, and it was a iconic, historic moment, especially at the time and for that era. But he did way too much after that for us to just keep going to that.
Way too much. But a lot of y'all not ready to have the conversation that Thriller is the most successful album because that is the album in which YT people acknowledged him. But you know, whatever.
And let's be real, because that's a part of the movie too. We about to get to this film discussion, but that whole fight to get Michael Jackson's video on MTV, yeah.
Listen, I'm so excited that I'm all over the place. My second favorite Michael Jackson music video that is equal to that for me. I was gonna say that, but no. I just thought of another one, y'all, but let me narrow this on down. For the sake of not also repeating Remember the Time, I fully enjoyed Leave Me Alone.
Not we Libras and on the same vibe, because not I was about to say it, Red. That was literally the song that was coming out my mouth.
Leave Me Alone is an excellent music video.
Listen, Leave Me Alone was one of the funnest videos. The song itself had a great message, but the video had me all up in arms.
All up in arms. All up in arms. Video. And that's the dangerous era. So I was alive when that music video dropped. I remember seeing it and having my mouth open saying, "This is amazing."
Listen, that and Remember the Time. I was alive then, and I remember watching Remember the Time for the first time. I was in awe.
Not only was I in awe before, when I got older, I watched another mini documentary. Mm-hmm. And the director at the time, I cannot think of his name, black director, big deal. I cannot think of his name. Oh my God. He told, when Michael came to him, he said, "So what do you want my video to be?" And he said, "Michael, I'm gonna keep it real with you, dog. It's been too long since we seen you surrounded by black people. Whatever we do, it's gonna be nobody but black people in the video." And Michael said, "Okay, I'm not mad at that, brother. Let's do it." And he said, "But I want the best of black everything. Find me who's the hottest black choreographer. Find me the best black dancer." He said, "We're gonna do all black. We're gonna do black excellence." And that's a quote. So I just want to remind people that Michael was black, blackity black, black, happy, Black History Month, black as hell, black. And I don't know why people are surprised by that, because you have to remember that his number one idol was James Brown, Mr. Say It Loud himself. So I don't understand. And Joe Jackson and them were never ashamed to be black. I truly do believe that Michael Jackson was a black man, and the problem was people stopped seeing him as black because you have a limited view of what a black man is.
And to go a little deeper on Joe Jackson not being ashamed of being black, he wasn't. He never had a problem being black. He had a problem being poor. It's a difference. You attack black to poorness, so you think he had a problem being black. No, he had a problem being poor, and he meant that his family was not going to be poor and his boys wasn't going to be in the steel mill. He meant that.
Hey, Will 20. Hey, Jamrock Photography. Hey, China the Introvert. Remember, the time was hers.
Yep. Hey,
okay, we got some great comments in here. Thank you for coming in.
I can't see yours.
Somebody said he was black, but his kids aren't. Okay, baby. I don't like that either, tell you the truth, but it is what it is.
Now, that ain't a part of the film, so we probably won't dive deep into that, but we can do a whole nother live on some more of that now.
Yeah, we definitely can. I mean, I just don't know where that came from.
Yeah, I'm not sure where that would have came
KJ,
from.
why you felt on your spirit to say that, baby? That wasn't nice.
Listen, I don't think so real quick to let y'all know in the comments, I can only see my comments. Red can only see her comments. So I don't think we can see each other's. So if Red say something and you want me to ask her a question or reply to her something she said, if you say it, I'm gonna say it, okay? But if you over here with me, I can see your comments. Hi Candace, thank you for the follow. Thank you. Hey to everybody who is in here, everybody who on Reds. Thank y'all for coming. We are co-hosting this film review together and we gonna get into it. Now, I was thinking about asking the question, what's your favorite Michael Jackson song? But that's insane. That's a little insane. That to me is a little bit of an insane question and it's too hard to answer. Now, I asked funny thing. One of my sons was quick with his. And guess what song he picked? Can you imagine what song a 12-year-old boy picked? Red, I want you to guess what song Baby Elijah said.
First of all, I can't guess nothing baby Elijah do. He throws me off every time. I never can pin him down. You just got to tell me.
I was absolutely in awe of the one he picked. Because why did that boy say Liberian Girl?
I'm weak.
I said, not you picked a banger
I'm weak.
that nobody else probably would have picked, especially not a 12-year-old.
I got so many, but off the top of my head, Michael Jackson has a song called Speechless.
Ooh.
And I'll never forget.
That's on Invincible, ain't it?
Yes. And Michael could do a ballad. I think people forget Michael could do a ballad, okay?
People forget that because people forget about little Michael Jackson.
Yes.
Little Michael Jackson did ballads.
Ballads, yes. And they forget that Michael can do a ballad. And it just comes straight off, a cappella, first of all.
Yes.
And at the end, which is my favorite part, is when he's like, I'm lost for words. And he goes, like, and he just says it. He goes, I love you. Okay. You know, like, and I just was like, oh.
He's talking to me.
Yeah, he's talking to me.
Hold on, we got some good answers to this. Now, 2 of y'all said my 2 answers. And that's why I said I didn't want to ask the question.
Destiny.
I cannot say my favorite Michael Jackson song between 2 songs, which is exactly why I said I wasn't going to ask the question. But we got some good ones over here. First of all, Kitty, that's one of mine. Baby Ben, can't nobody tell me nothing about him singing to that mouse. Ben is top tier. If you want to know how vocals in perfect pitch is supposed to sound, go listen to Ben. That is absolutely one of my top. Then my second top, Jam Rock Photography, you said it. Baby Dirty Diana, can't nobody tell me nothing.
He going back and forth. Okay, because I was like, he was just over here.
Can't nobody tell me nothing.
Listen.
Oh, we gonna play the music, Kitty. Don't worry. We gonna get
You know what's another song I really like?
What?
It's a real emotional one. It really, The Lost Children.
Ooh.
He know he sings that right there.
Listen, Mike. we could sit here and go through these songs, and we gonna play them like I said. So y'all stay with us. Hi, Brianna. Hi. Well, Kitty, Jamrock, I talked about y'all comments already. Hi, who else is here? Candace, I said hi to you, I think. Hey, everybody who is here, listen, tap in.
Why is she saying, hey, I know we anti-R. Kelly right now, but there you are not alone. Michael sang that from his feet, okay?
Let me tell you something. Y'all know how I feel. Well, those of you who are new here, because we never even introduced ourselves, we got to do an introduction real quick, Red. So for those of you who are new here, real quick, just understand something. I have stopped listening to R. Kelly and haven't listened to him for years. But there is no way for me to say that I could stop listening to every song he ever wrote for other people. Because You Are Not Alone will never not be on my playlist.
Never.
I'm sorry. We all got problematic faves and stuff, right? We can get into Michael Jackson's problematic era at some point because they didn't get into that in the movie, and we're gonna try to not go there.
When was the last time we even heard Michael hit a note like that?
Listen, and I want to talk about the fact in the film it goes from young Mike to older Mike, 20-something-year-old Mike, and how that voice. I prefer, to be clear, young Mike's voice all the way up through to like all the way up through to like the Off the Wall album. I prefer that voice because Mike could sing. Like as a little boy, he had perfect pitch. I think people ignore that he had a voice, a very unique voice. Not ABC, Kitty. All right, you going back to J5. That's in the movie, so we can talk about it.
Now, we talk about Jackson 5 songs. She was dancing, 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 she was dancing, listen, I will dance till I lose weight, bitch. That is my song.
Again, I'm a ballad girl, and if we talking about Jackson 5 songs, the only two that would have to remain with me forever is Got to Be There and I Want to Be Where You Are. Baby, oh, I've been listening to I Want to Be Where You Are and Got to Be There in the car for the past 6 days.
Oh, no, hold on. I forgot. I used to show out. When I was a little girl, my mama first put me on the Jackson 5. This was my goddamn song right here. Can you feel it? Everywhere. And listen, don't nobody talk enough about Tito going off on them strings back there. He played the hell out that guitar. God damn.
I'm pretty sure if you hear and you're a big Michael Jackson fan, then you've seen Jackson 5, The American Dream, which was the series that those of us who love him have seen it 20 million times. Let's be clear. Tito is the reason the group got started because Tito was stealing Joe's guitar and practicing. And
yeah.
Tito on them strings ain't nothing to play with.
Nothing.
Okay. What's the name of the video he did in Africa? That is was it Heal the World that was done in Africa?
I thought Earth Song was done in Africa.
Oh, let me see.
No.
Hold on. I'm gonna tell you.
Why you looking though? Back on the music video tip real quick, we got to put more respect on Black and White. That music video was sick. He had they actually created that technology for his video to change them people's faces into each other. That did not, that's why I be saying when y'all reduce him down to Thriller, I don't understand it. Because every music video was innovative.
Yep, Earth Song was the one filmed in Africa. Earth Song was good too.
I knew it. Earth Song was another fly-ass ballad.
Yep. Hold on, let me get some of these comments. The Girl Is Mine is top tier, and you ain't lied. Remember MJ on Sesame Street? I've seen it. Yep, sure have. Let's see.
Y'all in here tonight.
Dancing Machine album, you can hear his voice change. Yes, you can. You can literally tell when his voice... And to be clear, and we'll get into that too, Michael's natural voice was actually deeper than what he portrayed, and it was a reason for that. So we're going to get into that too. Biggest debate. We have that debate in my house all the time. We had that debate on Sunday when I took the kids to see the movie. So I took my kids to see it. Now, I done seen it twice. I took my kids to see it Sunday. And that was the debate when we got home. Now, me and my husband are on opposite sides of the fence. I will forever say Michael. He will forever say Prince. That is a big debate, though. Michael or Prince.
I think that's ridiculous.
It's a ridiculous debate, but it often comes up. If I had to choose one, which I would never have to do, so I can keep them both, but I will go with Michael. My husband will go with Prince. My son, who almost got put in the garage to sleep that night, said, "Oh, Michael, I don't even like Prince like that." And we was ready to disown him. We were ready to make him sleep in the garage. He
had both y'all feelings.
He had both of us messed up. Because I said, now, hold on, now, wait a minute. I ain't said nothing like that.
People do not like when I say it, but if you're going to compare artists from that time, the more accurate comparison will be Prince versus Rick James. Leave Michael out of it. Because Rick James and Prince, to me, were way more comparable than Michael Jackson and Prince.
I agree. And that's another thing. When we talk about Prince and Michael Jackson and people try to bring up this fact that they didn't like each other or they was beefing, that's not necessarily true. That was more the media that tried to do that. Like, they had a little issues, yes, but it wasn't nothing like that. Because, like, did y'all know that Prince and LaToya worked together? Like, it was love. The Jackson family had much love for Prince.
Now, did you know that Prince was one of the first people to defend Michael against them bullshit allegations?
And do you know that Prince locked himself away in his room for a week when Michael died? Like, no, they loved each other for real. They did. They just, I think between them, it was friendly competition and the world made it something else. That's what I think. Anyway, Anyway, if y'all are here right now, great. It's enough people here now, friend, for us to get into this. Look at you looking good. Not you took all that time to get on screen and came here looking like that. Looking good. Looking good. Okay, man. Okay, man.
All right, Happy Mother's Day, everybody.
All right.
All right.
So we got a good number of people in here, so we gonna absolutely go ahead and get into this Michael film. Yes, he was.
Prince came under Rick James.
So we are yes.
Okay,
we got Michael behind
thank you
us.
for letting us know that history. I knew that. I'm gonna fact check that though. I never heard of that, but I'm gonna look that up, brother.
What James? Wait. You talking about James Brown or Rick James?
Rick James said Prince.
Happy Mother's Day to y'all.
Yeah, I'm gonna look into that down.
All right. We both are mothers. Red has a daughter, and I have two daughters and two sons. We are both mothers. All right, so listen. Let's get into it. So hopefully, again, if you are in this comment section, you have seen the movie Michael. At this point. You have seen.
Did we introduce ourselves?
I also. We didn't. We about to do it. I also hope that you've seen other things like the Jackson 5 American Dream, because we may very well reference that, because it's some things that we can reference from there for this film. But anyway, we're going to introduce ourselves. So y'all welcome. This is your FNT and your Red Lipstick Vixen film review. We are likely going to try to do more of these and make this a thing, because me and Red love movies, honey, and shows. So we're going to try to do this more. All right. Now, I am your FNT, Friendly Neighborhood Therapist. My name is Ashley. I'm a real life therapist in real life. I don't do therapy here, but I try to do a lot of mental health content and all sorts of other things. And movies, shows, books, that's my thing too. So I truly hope y'all enjoyed tonight's film review and that y'all follow us if you don't already. And now I'm going to let Miss Red Lipstick Vixen introduce herself.
Hello, everybody. I am Jasmine Monique, the Red Lipstick Vixen. My content tends to be about whatever is happening in the world at the moment, whatever pop culture or art captures my interest, and film and television are all the rage for me. That's actually how I connected with her in the first place, because I was scrolling, minding my business, and she popped up being beautiful and vibrant as ever, and she was covering Bridgerton, and I knew I was in the right place. Also, since you are following me tonight, shameless plug, I am doing a series, Ash, close your eyes.
Well, I got to close my eyes. Wait a minute.
Close your eyes. I am doing a series on the Stephen King novel, It, and I will be dropping videos regularly. Now, for all of you wondering why I told Ashley to close her eyes right quick, is I did not know how the image of the front of the book would bother her, because she does not like clowns. So, here nor there. All right, Ash, you're safe.
That's a real friend right there, y'all, because I do have a very strong fear of clowns. I don't know what the cover of that book looked like, but I'm glad she told me to close.
And I don't think it's too bad, but because I didn't know, I just erred on the side of caution, child.
Thank you so much. All right, y'all. So let's get the film review started. So Andy, thank you for coming. And we gonna I think we should start right with what you said so we can make something clear about this film. So Andy says, everything that was in the movie, I've already seen in other Michael Jackson movies. Yep, you have. We didn't learn much. We didn't learn pretty much anything new. This movie was for nostalgia. I need people to know that. It was for nostalgia. It was for fans. It was for the music. That's what it was for. It was not, if you go to this movie and hope to learn something new and that's your metric for how good the film is, you went for the wrong reasons and don't go see it.
I want to push back on that. I do believe the film did teach you something. You just had to be willing to learn what it was teaching you. We learned that Michael Jackson was a manifester and a projector. That's something we never knew. I don't know about y'all, but of all the documentaries I watched, of all the other portrayals of him I'd seen, nobody ever talked about how this man consistently spoke life into himself, his art, and he wrote it everywhere, sticky notes, journals. Interviews from Jaafar Jackson detailed that Michael Jackson was a journal keeper. There were journals on journals on journals that people still read to this day to understand his mind. So I think what his haters are not going to like is these movies are to teach you who he was inside. It's not to spill tea, and it's not to tell you his itty gritty nasty parts. Because I want, and I'll land here, Ash, I'm sorry. I want people to take this from where I'm coming from tonight. Where I'm going to be discussing this movie from is about the preservation of his reputation and his legacy, and how people tried to destroy it, but he came from a prominent black family who was pop royalty, who had the resources to protect it. And I think each and every last one of us, especially if we are melanated in this life tonight, you would hope that when you transition into ancestry, that your loved ones make sure all your dirty laundry isn't aired out either. So I don't think because this man is famous, we should have gone to this movie hoping to learn shit that wasn't our business to learn. I think we should have been expecting to be shared with the beauty of who was Michael Jackson. And we were. That's what the movie did. The movie showed you that this was a beautiful, innocent soul of a human being, and that all he ever wanted to was to create, because he had an innate belief that his creations could change the world, and it did.
And I love that Red said that's the frame she'll be going from about this movie review, because I'll be going from a different frame. And again, this is something that I think some people may have learned watching this film. At least I know I did. I will be going from the frame of mental health, because Michael Jackson was very neurodivergent. We are not about to ignore it at this point. I, as a mental health provider, genuinely feel like he might have been on the autism spectrum. I genuinely do. And I also, of course, am going to weave in how trauma and performance were intertwined for him, so much so that he couldn't differentiate between the two. Okay. He after a point, he no longer could differentiate between fear and performance. And there's reasons and research behind that I have studied for the past 2 weeks. And we're going to get into it. So that's the frame that I'm coming from, along with just the iconicness of the music, of course, because the film was really seeped into the music. So that's where I'm coming from. So there we go. Okay, hi, true worshiper. Hey. Welcome, y'all. Welcome. Join on in. Okay, so Andy said I wanted a deeper understanding of what he was really like. I think this movie gave us that. Based on what Red said and what it actually gave us that. Let's get into this film review, child.
Yes.
We about to do this. All right, let me put this on down so I can get comfortable.
Go tonight, go leave it 9 to 5 on the show, and just enjoy yourself. Okay, I'm ready.
Come on. We're going to listen to the music to wrap us up. So stick with us.
Yeah.
If you want to jam a little bit, stick with us. Thank you, Elaine, for telling everyone to tap the screen, because I'm forgetting. Tap the screen on both.
Oh my goodness, yes.
Tap the screen.
Whichever screen you find yourself on, please tap, like, share, follow both of us. Go back and forth. Make sure we're getting the engagement. We are 2 Black women that are content creators. We go live and we make posts. Ash is so dedicated that she makes a post every day. You really need to push us out into your algorithm. We are 2 of the most brilliant human beings you'll ever meet, and we're tired of being cheated. Please support.
Thank you. And you just reminded me of something as we get into this film review. But anyone who comes to any live about this movie or about Michael at this time, because he's back in the he ain't never left. Michael's never left the atmosphere. Let's be clear. But I've had someone say to me this week on one of my posts about the film review that people are just doing this for clout. People are just being introduced to who Michael was. Baby, people do film reviews on every film that comes out. There are people who that is their job. Film critics are a thing. Now, would I consider myself that? No. But we can do a review on a film. It has nothing to do with clout. It has to do with the fact that we love Michael and we want to talk about Michael. That's it. And this was nobody's introduction to Michael. Not if you've been on this earth for more than a year. Because it's babies who know There were babies at the movie theater in full-fledged costumes, okay? That knew every dance move at 4 and 5 years old. Michael Jackson was that big of a superstar. And I don't think there will ever be anyone else like him. So regardless of how you feel about people talking about him now and talking about new stuff or old stuff or whatever, this is because we're fans of Michael and what he meant to the world. That's it. Okay. All right. Now that that's out the way, the finger. Yes. So you went with what I said I was going to be leaning in tonight. The true worshiper, Keela, said that finger snapping is stimming. Okay. And it is. Things Michael did, from the hee to the finger snapping to the crotch grabs to different stimming. Absolutely. He was stimming. And it went well with his music.
Listen, they had to talk him out of stimming in the studio.
Movie scene. So let's go to some of the movie scenes. So the scene she's talking about is when they first meet Berry Gordy. When they are going to try to get signed by Motown, and they are in that studio, and he says he wants Michael to go first. And Michael goes into that room, they turn that music on, and his feet don't stop moving. And Berry stops the music and says, "Hey, Michael, you gotta be still, because we gotta be able to hear you. So you gotta be still, move closer to the mic." He stopped that little boy 3-4 times to tell him to be still and don't move them feet. It was very hard for him to do that. And that stayed with him even into his grown-up ages, because when he was with Quincy for the first time in the studio, he said, "Keep them feet still, Mike." Now, to be fair, if music is good to you, your body gonna move. That's just how music works. But Michael literally could not help it. He couldn't do it. And the eye contact is the first scene that showed it to me. That first scene in Gary, Indiana, when the movie started, and Joseph kept saying, "Look at me. Look at me, Mike. Look here. Look here." And he couldn't do it. I said, "Oh, he can't keep eye contact. He can't maintain it."
But you know what? I didn't feel like he couldn't keep eye contact. I feel like he never wanted to look at Joseph. Because
You know what?
when you see Michael Jackson perform, he does.
Contact
And
with
that's
him.
what made him so compelling. He performed looking into like the soul of people. People who made eye contact with Michael Jackson sometimes died. I'm sorry, unalive. So he can make eye contact at top tier performance. He never wanted to look Joseph in the eye. And you will see this theme repeated over and over again when he's talking to people. He's like, "Sure, I'm going to get strong and I'm going to look Joseph in the eye and I'm going to tell him," and it never happens. And then you see a flashback to the childhood with Joseph on the sofa saying, "Look at me, Michael," and he never does it. I hate to skip scenes, but just to show you the relevance of this, they captured this really well in the film. At the end of the movie, when Michael is storming off stage, Joseph tries to stop him, and even then, he don't look Joseph in the eye.
He just keeps moving forward.
He keeps moving forward because he can't do it.
He can't do it.
He can't do it.
I agree. Thanks a line too blessed for the follow, and welcome. Hey, Nadine, girl, Nadine.
Hey, y'all coming on in.
Come on in. I agree. So let's touch on that. So if you've seen the film, which we hope you have, because ain't no spoilers. We already know. Ain't no spoilers. So the film starts in the 1960s in Gary, Indiana, at 2300 Jackson Street. That's where it starts, at their home. And if you didn't know, that was filmed in the actual home. That was not a studio. That was their home on 2300 Jackson Street, where they filmed those scenes. So they start there, and they start with them practicing in the living room. And Joseph they're practicing a song, right? Now, this is where we start to see Michael is not able to look Joseph in the eye, and we see Catherine in that scene. So the first thing, of course, that I've heard people say about that opening scene is, this is why he was afraid of Joseph. The trauma starts with Joseph and how he chose to handle creating the Jackson 5. Yes, it was Jackson Street. They lived at 2300 Jackson Street. Before they even became famous, that was the name of the street. So that's just like, wow.
It's a really weird coincidence. They said they had nothing to do with it.
He did develop the courage. Well, yes and no. And we can get into that, Andy, because Andy said the movie did show that Michael developed courage to tell Joseph no. No. He developed the courage to know that he wanted it to be a no. But in a lot of those scenes, somebody else delivered the message.
Right. He developed the courage to strategize against Joe. He never developed the courage to stand up toe-to-toe with Joe. And that's a very key difference. He developed the courage to seek help. He never developed the courage to actually do anything himself.
Yep, agree. Hey, Tiffany Hagan. Now, my girl Tiffany is in here, and we went to college together. She is one of the biggest Michael Jackson fans outside of myself that I know. Oh, my God.
Hey, baby. I love to hear about a good kindred spirit.
Yes,
Hello.
he is. Not true. He said it at the end when he was on. Okay, Tanya.
No.
He said it on the stage where he knew Joseph wasn't going to come and ruin the show.
Come get him.
He said it on stage in front of his brothers, and then he walked the opposite way off stage. He knew Joseph was that way. He went that way. When Joseph came around to confront him, he kept walking, and it was Bill who said, "It's over, Joseph." Michael never actually confronted him. He said it where he was most, and we're going to talk about where he was most comfortable. He said it where he was most comfortable, which was on stage. We're going to talk about how the stage was his comfort, but it was also his prison, according to a lot of psychologists who have studied him and who actually worked with him when he was still alive. Mm-hmm. So we're going to get into that. Because, yes, he was comfortable on stage, but it was also a scary place for him based off of how Joseph raised him.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so first off, if we're going to do the film review, which we are already doing, and talking about the different scenes, y'all tell us what scenes y'all want to hear about. But for me...
Yes, please, tell us what scenes you want to hear about. That's a good one, Ash.
Yes. For me, as I'm watching this film, because we're going to stick with Little Michael. We're going to wait to transition to Jaafar. Little Michael. The young man who played Little Michael played the entire hell out of it. And that was him singing anytime it was a cappella. He was singing. When it was in the studios or with the music, they mixed him and Michael's voice together so that you wouldn't be able to differentiate who it was. But that little boy can sing. Little boy is good. Okay, he did a wonderful job as Little Michael. I know everybody is focused on Jaafar's portrayal, and we're going to get to that, but that little boy did a wonderful, wonderful job. And he made it so believable, the fear that he had when it came to Joseph. And not even just the fear, but this is another reason why I think Michael could have been on the autism spectrum, or at the very least was something of a neurodivergent being. When they came from the show, the first show that you see them do at the bar, and they come in and Catherine's asking them, how'd the show go? Get ready for bed. And Joseph's like, no, pull them instruments out. Let's get to practicing. Michael's like, we did good, Joseph. We did good. We can go to bed. And Joseph is like, oh, who you think you're talking to? Michael actually didn't back down. He was like, we did good. That for me showed that he wasn't necessarily afraid of Joseph to the extent that his brothers was, because his brothers were quick to say, it's okay, Michael, we can practice. You could hear it in their voice and their eyes that they were really scared. Michael, although he lived through that trauma with Joseph, he wasn't actually scared of him. That fear became greater as he got older.
Older, yes, because now this is going to take a throwback. If you remember Jackson 5, The American Dream, Michael was always the one that stood up to Joseph. So we do know there's a contextual family history in which Michael Jackson is the only brother that stands up to Joseph. The issue is because Michael Jackson was the only son to stand up to Joseph, Joseph beat him the most severely. And he finally broke Michael.
Yes.
And then you start to really see the devastating fear. And I'm not going to say the childhood version didn't act it out well, but Jaafar made me scared of Joe. Jaafar made me fear Colman Domingo. I remember, not to skip ahead, but specifically when Joseph is talking to Michael and he's holding on to the door handle. Oh, that was terrifying. So there was definitely a legitimate fear. And then I want people to understand, it ain't just Michael that's scared of Joseph. The record executives were scared of Joseph. Everybody's scared of Joseph. Joseph was scared as hell.
Listen, movie scene when Michael was about to do his first, and he was sitting in front of them two white record executives, and he said, I need y'all to tell Joseph to let me do this solo album. Them men looked at each other like, who you need to tell? Who? Who are you talking to? Because that man had to get up and go get a drink, honey. He was that nervous about saying anything to Joseph. So other people feared Joseph. I think that this movie, the only person who may not have feared Joseph was Berry Gordy, because maybe he didn't give a damn.
He did not.
Berry Gordy knew who he was.
He did not.
Berry Gordy was like, hey,
but
hey,
here's
chill out.
my beef with Berry Gordy, though. Here's my beef with Berry Gordy. He didn't fear Joseph because he looked down on him, and that's what I didn't like. That's my only thing that makes that not cool to be hype about. He kind of looked at Joseph like, broke, you know what, from Gary. You know, that's
I can
why I
see
didn't
it.
like it. If it was man to man, I'm not scared of you, that would have been cool. But Barry did not fear him because he didn't respect him, period. And that was kind of, I
Ooh,
remember I
wait,
was like, okay now, Barry, don't do
I gotta
Joseph.
tell you, my girl Tiffany from college, oh, she gonna agree with you there because she can't stand Barry. Listen, she from
Yeah, Barry
Detroit.
Gordy's history is not. Him and Joseph the same person. He just did it with class. And that's why I'm not finna let Barry Gordy slide. Barry Gordy was
You
not.
right, you right. Listen, T said Barry Gordy was a crook anyway. He had muscle and goons. Yeah. Wait a minute. I want to address a comment. Where did it go? Darlene Moore. So first, it was two comments you said, Darlene. One, you said MJ was in elementary school. So be clear for all who may not be aware, Michael Jackson became a member of the Jackson 5 when he was 5 years old. Catherine heard him singing around age 4 and told Joseph he needed to be in the group. Joseph was like, he too little, he ain't nah. She was like, no, I'm telling you, you gotta hear him sing. At 5, he entered the group. At 6, he was doing 5-day-a-week, 4-hour practices. At 6. Understand there was a 6-year-old practicing that much with a singing group. Okay. But another thing you said, Darlene, that I want to address for sure, and this movie kind of makes it so where we can address it. You said Joseph made MJ a superstar. I have never agreed with that line of thinking. Anytime somebody says Joseph made Michael or Joseph made any of those boys or Janet or anything, I don't agree. They literally had natural talent that would have put them somewhere in the spotlight anyway. There's no way you can have a voice like little Michael Jackson and not make it somewhere singing and performing. You can't. What Joseph contributed was he taught those boys work ethic because he knew work ethic. He was a boxer. He worked at the steel mill, and he himself was in a band. The only reason I would say that Joseph, to put all of their success on Joseph takes away too much from them to me. So I don't like doing that. Was he an integral part? Absolutely. He was an integral part of them boys getting out of Gary, Indiana. He put them in position to be seen. But I would never put all of their success on Joseph. I don't like when people do that. Joseph didn't even give them the opportunity. He put them in spaces to be seen to get the opportunity. That's different.
So let me be careful here because Joseph is so complicated. I want my own Joseph movie to an extent because Joseph, because he's no longer with us as well. He too is an ancestor. So, and whatever he was Michael Jackson's father, and Michael Jackson loved his father. So I try to be careful how hard I go on Joe, because at the end of the day, I don't care what Stan do to me. Only I can talk about Stan Ho. You know what I mean? Like, so I think sometimes we need to humble our positions on these people's parents. But what I will say, to stay on the topic we are on, I feel that when we start talking about Joseph Jackson and the Jackson 5, the question becomes who came first, the chicken or the egg? And I feel that we will call out Joseph, but we don't call out Abraham Canthania, right? So, and I think for me, what Joseph was outside of his extremity, he was a black father of his time period. Right. And I think that gets taken out of context. Let me be clear. I'm not saying it's cool. Hear me clearly. I'm not saying it's all right, and I'm not making an excuse, but I'm telling you what it was. We are more advanced, our generation, with knowing more healthier tools to raise children, how to talk to people and stuff. That is a privilege we have today. That was not what people having children in the 50s were having. And we have to be a little more honest about that. Mm-hmm. And we're talking about Catherine can't work. She don't have the right to get a bank account. Girl, I want y'all to remember the years. Catherine does not work, and Catherine is a teenager when she gives birth to Reby. Reby, Jackie, Jamaica, you add these kids up.
There's 11 kids back to back, and I don't think people realize that.
People do not realize that. And Joseph is the only one paying bills for 11 lives. 12 lives.
10 lives, technically. When I say 11, that's because Marlon was a twin, and that twin, Brandon, passed away at, I think it was 6 weeks old, like really early. He was still an infant.
Yeah.
So it was 11 kids total that Catherine birthed. She lost one of the twins. She lost.
So we're gonna be fair. We're gonna say 13 people, because he still has to take care of himself. He's taking care of Catherine, and he's taking care of all the children.
Mm-hmm.
So Joseph got to a place, and I want people to feel this because I feel this as a parent of one child. Joseph woke up one day and said, I'm not going through this anymore. My judgment of Joseph is critical that he used his children to get out. That's what it was to me. That's the part that made me look at Joseph like, it's okay to motivate our children into greatness, but you did not do that. You strategically manipulated and traumatized your children into rescuing you. What he should have done to be a healthier parent would have been to believe in them and nurtured whatever they wanted to do, and it still would have led to the same result. Because a lot of his, let's get something straight that people forget. All of the Jackson children had different talents, and it wasn't music. You had people who could have went into the National Baseball League. You had people who were natural actors. You had people who wanted to be writers. You had Tito, who could have just been a producer and a musician by himself. They all had groundbreaking skills. Even Rebe Jackson was talented, because a lot of y'all forgot about Centipede, and a lot of y'all forgot that she was a writer and that she did styling. So the whole Jackson family, even Catherine, because she was the one with the ear, she had a voice as well.
She had the ear.
The Jackson bloodline got something in it, because all of them, all the way down to Jaafar, all the way down to the other nieces and nephews that exist right now, have talent. So I say all that to say, Joseph does not get credit for their God-given ability. Joseph gets credit for seeing it and not neglecting it. A lot of parents neglect their children's God-given ability. Yeah. He saw what his children were capable of, and he said, by hook or crook, I'm going to make sure y'all see it too. You believe in it, and we do it. And this is the credit I will give Joseph, because this is the best thing Joseph ever did. Fuck that money. This is what Joseph did that got my respect. Joseph had them extend their fingers out during the exercise.
This is a movie scene, y'all.
He told them to close their eyes. And this is when I knew that we can judge Joseph, we can talk our shit, but the man was a father. Because this is what I expect the black father to do. Joseph had his sons stand together and extend their hands out and say, you feel yourself reach and reach as far as you can go, and understand that that reach is not Randy, is not Tito, is not Jermaine, not Michael. It is the Jacksons. And everything we do will be to fuel the Jackson family and our name. That was powerful. That was powerful, because when you have that many sons in a patriarchal society, that is something they need to know. They are extending the name and the blood. It was deeper than music for Joseph, and he is a prime example of wanting something with the best intentions, but putting it in practice in a detrimental way.
Yes. Okay, I'm gonna take a break and read some of the comments here, and I'm gonna also give some feedback on things. So,
and when you finish up, I'll go back and read some.
Okay. So, Kel Hall, where we at? Wait. I think he instilled work. No, that's Tanya Burst. I think he instilled work ethic that it took. I agree with that. Catherine, yes, in the film, Catherine says to Michael, I should have protected you more. And we can get into that in a minute too. Joseph gave them an opportunity. They couldn't have done it without their parents. I agree. So hear me clear. I am never saying that the Jackson children would have made it without their parents. What I'm saying is they could have made it without the abuse. There's a difference. I think that Joseph could have still gotten them where he got them without the abuse. Because hear me clearly. Red used the example of the hands extending to the wall to show how he was a father. But there's also the other aspect where he separated himself from being a father by only allowing them to call him Joseph. That's a separation mentally for children, to tell them they cannot call you father or daddy. They have to call you Joseph. That if for a child, that literally separates in your mind this person from being a father in a loving way. They loved him, And if you ask any of them, they'll say that they know he loved them. But it's still an issue when you tell your children you are not to call me daddy. He told, like Janet's been in interviews talking about that. She said, I called Joseph daddy one time and he looked me in my eye. She said, I couldn't have been no more than 6 or 7. And he said, I am not daddy to you or father. I am Joseph. She said, and I never made that mistake again. And when you watch the interview where she said that you could see the pain in her eyes, and there was also pain because the outside child he had was allowed to call him daddy. His outside child that he had was allowed to call him daddy, and she did so in front of them. So,
but you know why? And we're going off a little bit with this one.
Yeah.
But I gotta address it. He was the man he wanted to be by that time. So being called daddy felt natural. See, what I have noticed is, and I won't make this a race thing, I will make this a gender thing. Men have a way of treating the family that they were low, and treating the people that they make when they're in a better position with better. And I feel like he looked at all those Jackson children and he never forgot the steel mill. But when he looked at that outside baby he had that baby as Mr. Joseph Jackson, manager of the Jackson 5. And that was a higher self-esteem point. So he felt like daddy and Big Daddy Joe, or like he even let his mistress call him affectionate names, while Catherine only called him Joseph. So unfortunately, more than one thing can be true. Joseph could be the catalyst to how they get where they got, but make no mistake, he didn't just get them to fame. He got their ass to therapy. He got them to being great. He got them to being unalived. He got them to self-mutilation. Like, where you want to go with this? Because if you give Joseph credit for one, you got to give him credit for all of it.
And I venture to say, in the comments, somebody said it clearly, Joseph neglected them kids. He just didn't neglect their talent. What I take that to mean is, he neglected...
Who said that? They ate.
Listen, hold on. Who said that? Who said that?
You ate. Follow me. Since you over there with the buffet.
Oh, that was my girl Tiffany. Joe neglected the kids. He just didn't neglect the talent. Correct. And I would say, to make that specified even more, he neglected their emotional needs. We're going to stop pretending children don't have emotional needs and children don't have psychological needs. He didn't care about none of that. He cared about their talent. So he did not neglect the star he saw. He did not neglect their talent. He did not neglect what he saw for their dream and their success. He didn't neglect that. No, he definitely took them there with that. But he neglected their emotional well-being. He neglected their physical well-being, because you can't say somebody beat somebody the way they have said they were beaten and say that they care about their physical well-being. I would agree, MJ Rod fan, he lived through those kids, because y'all all do know that Joseph was a musician too. He started a band too, the Falcons, and it never went anywhere past
exactly. Which leads to the argument why he's not the reason why they made it. Because if Joseph Jackson was the reason why the Jacksons were the Jacksons, then how come he didn't do it with anybody else? Joseph didn't manage anybody but his children. If he had the magic touch as a manager, he could have flipped that check across the whole music industry. He could have started managing all kinds of people, but he didn't do that. He only managed his children because his children were the safe bet, because they already had the talent. He did not have the gift of true managing, which is producing, cultivating, and breathing life into. That's not what he could do. What Joseph was good at was taking something that was already what it was and pushing it till its fullest potential. Yeah. But he could not actually manifest and manage and knead the dough of raw talent. Because if that was the case, he would have had Jackson Management Group the same as Matthew Knowles. Matthew Knowles has made other stars outside of Destiny's Child. We just don't talk about that. So if you truly have the talent to manage and make stars, it won't just be your offspring.
Yes. And I venture to say that your offspring is the easier bet as well, because they already got to listen to you. They are that you, regardless of if you let them call you daddy or not or whatever, you're their father. It is easier to manage a group of children who already know you are in charge. That's just easier. Okay. Let me see. Okay, hold on. Let me see some of these comments. Michael. Okay, we'll get to that. We'll get to that because that's a part of the movie, MJ Rod fan. So we definitely gonna get to that. Right, Tanya, you can beat your kids if they don't listen to you. You can't beat some outside talent that you found if they don't listen to you. That's not how that's gonna work. So he
would have been lawsuits everywhere.
It would have been lawsuits
He
everywhere.
would have been under prison. Also, I want to say this because this really irks my spirit. People are always trying to make sure a mother is held equally accountable to a father. Somebody said, "Oh, we got to hold Catherine accountable too." Let me tell you why that does not work.
Not at that time, it don't.
Do? I want somebody to break down to me what Catherine Jackson was supposed to do.
Listen, especially
I just want to know, what was she supposed to do?
Especially if we going for the time. If you can sit up here and say that because of the time it was, hold on, the little thing popped up on my screen. There we go. If you can sit up here and say, we can understand Joseph because that's how a lot of men and fathers were at the time. They were like that. So he was doing what he felt was best and what was normal and accepted at the time. Then you have to translate that to Catherine too. As a woman of that time, she was only doing what she could do, because what she could not do was leave Joseph when they had 10 kids. Where was she going? What she could not do was get a bank account in her own name or a credit card. What she could not do was work because she had polio and a limp. So it was a lot of things she wasn't able to do. Now, could she have been a seamstress on the side? Sure, she made all the clothes for the Jackson 5. But there was so much she could not do. And she was a Jehovah's Witness, so she could not leave him. Her faith said she couldn't leave him.
Here's the thing. Over a span of 16 years, this woman stayed pregnant.
Can we talk about
over a span of 16 years? Catherine Jackson was pregnant. Catherine was also a survivor of polio. That's why she had a limp and a lazy leg. So she was handicapable. Okay, we're talking about somebody who was born with an illness who did not get proper treatment. And remember, polio was a big deal. I know we don't see polio no more. None of us understand it, but she had it. Okay, and lived with it until the technology and the medicine.
Real quick, I understand it. My uncle had polio.
I also want to say
my uncle had polio,
because I think y'all be forgetting. Catherine was not a co-abuser. Catherine was being abused too.
Because are we gonna tell the truth? He beat
her too. There's even rumors I cannot confirm of rape.
Listen,
all those children are not consensually made, and y'all sitting here talking about she was supposed to do something. She was a part of the. They were in prison together. They were surviving Joseph together. When Joseph and Catherine separated legally, Joseph was threatening not to let her leave the house. Michael and them boys went up there to get their mama because they said, we grown and who gonna tell her we can't take her out of here? They could not control Joseph until Joseph got too old. That man was hell on legs. Nobody played with him. And then this was back in the day where people let men be monstrous. That's that man's household. Don't say nothing to him. Don't go over there. Y'all are forgetting the time. This is not 2026.
Listen, we ain't even gonna say it was just married couples and the man of that household. They let men be monstrous, period. James Brown beat Tammy Terrell in public and nobody did a thing. David Ruffin hit Tammy Terrell in the head with a freaking motorcycle helmet and bashed her face in the wall at Motown Studios, and nobody said anything. It was nobody's business. So at that time, men were allowed to do that to women. Men were allowed to be abusive. In fact, you had a lot of people who were of the school of thought that women needed to be disciplined, and a man could discipline his wife or a woman that he was with. So let's not forget what the time frame was and say that Catherine had some choices that she didn't have. She didn't have those choices.
User with all the numbers, you ain't got no name, baby, but you ate with that. You're correct. She separated from him, but they never divorced.
They never divorced. She
did not believe in that.
She filed twice and she didn't do it because she knew if I divorce him, they will excommunicate me from the faith that I know and love, which is Jehovah's Witness. And mind you, though, Joseph was never a Jehovah's Witness. He was not in faith. He was never one, but she was. Because we can also get into how Michael left because of the Thriller video, because they were pissed about that Thriller video and said he was dealing with the occult. So he left the Jehovah's Witness, but it's different when you leave versus when you're kicked out. So because he left, he was still allowed to speak with his family, because we know in that faith, if you're kicked out, nobody is allowed to talk to you, not even your mama and daddy.
But also to show respect, he re-released the Thriller video with the warning at the beginning. saying that there is no occultism in this video. This is all a work of fiction. You see, like because he still respected the faith. He did. I don't know much
He
about the
respected
Jehovah's
it.
Witnesses, so I ain't gonna do too much with that.
Hold up. Wait, I'm gonna tell you something because I don't know how many people know it, and I just want to see if anybody is shocked by this. So Michael Jackson, after Thriller, and right before Bad, trying to reconcile himself with the Jehovah's Witness Church. Do you know? Because one of the things with the Jehovah's Witness Church is that they go out and they proselytize. They go out and they try to get people to come to the church, go knocking door to door. Y'all remember Jehovah's Witnesses knocking on your door early on a Saturday, and you was like, "Don't answer that door. We ain't talking to them people." That was my granny. She was like, "Sit down. Don't you answer that door." Did y'all know that even after Thriller, Michael put on disguises and still went knocking door to door for Jehovah's Witness? What would you have done if Michael knocked on your door? Mind you, he put on a disguise, but I feel like I would have noticed it. I'd have been like, now wait a minute, that mustache ain't hiding nothing. You is Michael, and I come on in. I would convert. Come on in.
Jehovah would have returned that day.
Michael was still going door to door. There are people in Alabama, because that's where he was. In Alabama, he went knocking door to door for the Jehovah's Witnesses after Thriller. So he's already famous. Can you imagine him knocking on your door talking about something? Are you prepared for Jehovah's return? I would have lost every part of my mind.
I would be like, Jehovah, I wasn't prepared for your ass at my stop.
Never in a million years. Okay? So anyway, how y'all doing? Welcome. If you just getting here, we are going over the film. We are going over the film Michael, and we are going through some scenes and different things. And of course, I knew that this conversation would go a lot of places once we started talking about Joseph and his part in their success. And now Catherine, there are some people in the comments who are like, but she was complicit in their abuse. She was being abused. Yeah, you can say that, but again, for the time period, you can't give Joseph the benefit of the doubt because of the time period and then take it away from Catherine.
That's what pissed me off.
A lot of women of that time knew their kids was being abused and they couldn't leave because what were they going to do, especially after having 10, 11, and 12, and 13 kids? There was a woman I went to church with who had 22 kids. You're not about to convince me that that wasn't reproductive abuse. They kept those women pregnant so that they could not leave.
Do you remember when Joseph very intimidatingly got over Catherine in the film, and she actually took a deep breath and she stood up taller and she said, "You're not gonna beat nobody.
You ain't beating
She
nobody."
was talking about herself too. You're not beating anybody no more. It's over.
And here's a important part of that. This to me was the most important part of that scene because I know exactly she had on that white suit. LaToya was in the room with her. So this is a part of the movie where Michael has fired Joseph. He has sent a fax from his new counsel that has fired Joseph from being his personal manager. He takes the paper into the room where Catherine and LaToya are. LaToya is helping Catherine with her outfit. He tells LaToya to get out. He says, "Look what this boy sent me. Couldn't even tell me face to face like a man." And Catherine says, "Okay." And she like, you can't beat nobody no more, Joseph. These are grown men. These boys are no longer children. They're grown men. And he says the integral part here when you want to talk about him being the reason for their success. Even Catherine knew better than that because he said to her, "I'm the reason that we got out of Gary, and I'm the reason for these boys being who they are." She like, "Okay, keep thinking that, Joseph," and walk clean out the room. Even she knew those boys had talent with or without you. They had both of our genes. So clearly that genetic makeup gave them that natural talent. They could have made it. Yes, you were the push that they may have needed, but you took it to a point where it also traumatized them, and that's not okay. She made it clear to him, you keep thinking that you the reason that we got all this. Because this is because of Michael at this point. This ain't got nothing to do with you no more.
I just find it extremely sad because, first of all, since we're still on the film, let's get into Colman Domingo.
Oh, that portrayal.
Colman Domingo is going to act down boots every opportunity he gets. And when I really enjoyed the interviews, because when they asked Colman Domingo, how did you approach Joe Jackson? He told a very honest truth. He said, he's a human too. And I did my best to portray what his loved ones told me he was like. And he watched interviews and he watched Joseph speak. And to be fair to Joseph again, because my Libra side want to keep this nice and balanced. We don't know Joseph's childhood.
We do know that his father was
We
abusive. We do know that.
No, but we don't know it like we know about Joseph himself.
Right.
We don't get the back. That's why I said, to an extent, Joe Jackson need a movie. Because when you really talk about how he went from boxing to performing to being his upbringing to his mother, a lot of Black folks, male or female, are victims of their eras and their, I like to say, their place in their inheritance of post-traumatic slave disorder. Some of us are far removed, so our symptoms are lighter, and some of us are closer to it, so the symptoms are thicker, right? Joseph was old enough to have great grandparents who could have been slaves.
Yep.
Right? We have to really unpack that. So I think, and I don't know shit, we just all going off opinions. I don't know nothing. I think Joseph's heart was pure. Joseph's desperation, lack of faith, and mental treatment and support led to his practices being messed up. Okay? What he wanted for his family, what he wanted for them was correct. Working hard, not being lazy, not being a failure, not being inadequate, not playing with these white tees, not giving up on yourself, all of that. Michael Jackson later says out of his own mouth, and you can YouTube this for the This Is It documentary. He said, my father taught me to work hard. I am not lazy, I am tired. Because they were trying to force him to keep rehearsing, and he was getting older. And they was like, Michael, you can be so lazy. And he said, oh no, don't you ever call me that. I don't come from lazy people. See, we're harder on Joseph than Michael was. We're harder on Joseph than the children. When you talk to the children, they know they daddy. And they loved him. They was hurt by him. It's complicated. It's ugly. But make no mistake, those 10 Black children loved that Black man. And a lot of us to this day go through shit with our parents. So y'all acting a little too brand new to me. I don't like making Joseph a boogeyman.
That I don't, but I will say, because y'all know I said I was doing the film review with a touch of the mental health lens. I would venture to say that it's not hard to find plenty of children and people in general who love their abuser. That's not hard. To find children who just hate their parent and go completely no contact, it happens, but it's rare. So to say they don't see their daddy the same way we do, we're harder on him than they were, that's normal from a mental health perspective. That's normal for them to be grown now and look back at it like, no, Joseph knew what we needed. Joseph did the right things. That's very normal for people who've been dealing with any type of abuse. And of course, I know Black people in particular, and some other cultural groups, look at it like, y'all saying it was abuse, all of us got whoopings and stuff like that. I understand that physical punishment physical discipline has always been a thing in our communities, but there's a historic element to that. That comes from somewhere. Learning that in order to put somebody into compliance, I have to beat them, that's still a problem no matter how you try to slice it. We're not going to get into that. Because that's a little bit too deep. But I'm just saying, we look at Joseph from the lens that we do because we are on the outside. His children see it differently. Catherine may have seen it differently. But eventually Catherine left, and the things Catherine would say, such as, I should have protected you, which she said to Michael, lets you know something. But again, this whole conversation right here started because we are not going to view Joseph from a lens that we take away from Catherine. If they were products of their time, they were both products of their time. That's it. That's it.
That's it, and that's all. And you can be, and in retrospect, all of them look back and could see different. Even Joseph, when they would interview him, he would be like, hey, today, man, y'all told me I'm wrong. I get that, my bad. But back then, they was trying to play, and I wanted them to get this record deal. So I gave him a whoop. He was very honest. He didn't lie. He didn't try to excuse it. He started dry snitching on himself to an extent.
Listen, Michael did an interview when he was still, this was during the Off the Wall era, I think. He was in an interview. You can find this interview on YouTube because I've been watching a ton of his interviews and documentaries and stuff. In the interview, the interviewer asked him, do you think Joseph was too strict? He said, yeah, but then he said, oh God, he's going to kill me. You saw the fear from just telling the truth about that. But then that interviewer said, you're still afraid of him? He was like, he's going to kill me. And the interviewer said, well, even Joseph told us he was too strict. He said, oh, he said it? Cool, I can say it. Yes, he was. So Joseph knew. Yeah, I did too much. I did too much.
Because hindsight is 2020. Lord have mercy. I think people have forgotten, with all our complexities and all our BS, we are capable of growing and having new understanding of shit we doing that we shouldn't be doing. By the way, really quickly, it's 39 live viewers in the stream.
I have 80, honey. We balling over here.
Okay, we doing it. Okay. I want us to get it up there. Make sure you're spreading us out to the FYP. Make sure you are tapping the likes, all that good stuff. Keep engaging. Please keep commenting. We love that you all are here. If you are just getting in the room, I'm Jasmine Monique, the Red Lipstick Vixen, and this is
Ash, your FNT, friendly neighborhood therapist. Welcome, y'all.
Yes, and this is our first night conducting a film review.
Yes.
Right? This may be a new thing. We don't know. Depending on how y'all act. We don't know. But we're doing a film review, and the first film we've decided to do together is Michael. So I say all that to say,
wait, Paul.
I don't want to spend too much time on Joe, because Joe is his own topic. Joe is his own topic. I just feel like I just feel like as a Black woman of my generation, I would like to study Joe, and I feel that we can extract what was good from Joe and throw away the bones that were bad. We need to study Joe as a Black male father and kind of tweak and figure out what we keep and what we give back. Because one thing is for certain, whether we liked them or not, Joseph stayed and raised them to children, and a lot of y'all done abandoned too. So it's a lot to be said about Joseph, and I cannot completely condemn him to be forgotten and hated. I can't do it in good faith.
All right. And the last thing I'll say, because we do want to move on to other parts of the film, MJ Rod fan made a comment, and he said, I mean, there were parents in the 60s who genuinely treated their kids with healthy love. And you are absolutely correct. That's why we can't just sit up here and say, oh, it was because he was a product of the time. He was a product of his past. He was a product of his own father. He was a product of his own life, as we all are. We all are products of our environment, our upbringing, our teachings. Joseph was that, but there were plenty of healthy people in the 60s. We're not going to pretend like everybody was just abusive in the 60s. No, they weren't. They weren't. But for Joseph, he is a complex, multifaceted character. And I would venture to say that the way we analyze Joseph, this is a sidebar, and I ain't going to go no further with it because we could do another live. The way we analyze Joseph as a Black man is a major reason why I can't get Black men to go to therapy, because we refuse to understand the multifacetedness of Black men. We refuse to understand that. We refuse to understand a lot of things that make Black men a very specific group, just like Black women. A very specific group that we have to be mindful of how we engage who they are based off of their trauma, their worldview, how the world sees them. So Joseph is that. He's complicated, he's complex, and we can say all the things about him, but at the end of the day, his family, at the very least, his family absolutely appreciated the push from him. Now, did they think the push might have went too far at times? Absolutely, but they did appreciate it. So we gonna move on from Joseph because we've been on Joseph for a while.
I'm telling you, Joseph is his own life. Maybe we will. I don't know, because this is a real life therapist, you guys, and I would love, and I've told her this, I would love for her to have shows or content where she therapeutically analyzes celebrities or, stories of the past or something. I would love that for her because she's brilliant enough, and I know she can do it. That's not my lane. I'm always just going to give you my opinion. I don't have a psychological expertise to share. I can only tell you based on my passion and my observation of us as a people, the patterns I see. I can't dissect them or explain them, but I can tell you what I see. That's where I come in.
And now, before we go to other scenes of the film, somebody early on, and they likely are still here, asked me why I said I believe Jackson was neurodivergent. A lot of signs that me as a mental health therapist watching this film and even going back and watching Michael in interviews and watching documentaries and watching things that he put out himself and behind the scenes things he did, there are a lot of things that point to Michael being neurodivergent and possibly being on the autism spectrum. You have a hyperfixation with music, perfection, and animals. You have a hyperfixation with children because of how his childhood played out. You have that. You have a hyperfixation with fantasy. You have his stimming habits. There were a lot of things he did that we today know full well is stimming. Okay, we know that it is. Even somebody said earlier on, would singing be could singing be considered stimming? Yeah, yes, it can. Okay, so for me, and this is just my personal / professional mix of thoughts and opinions. It's not, I ain't diagnosed Michael. Michael ain't here to be diagnosed or interviewed or assessed. But from what we know, what we've seen portrayed, what his siblings have said about him, his parents have said about him, and from what I've seen in interviews he's done, he absolutely was at the very least neurodivergent. Couldn't keep his feet still. Even the scene in the movie where they're eating dinner and now somebody might look at this and say, that's a stretch. Kids do that all the time. Yes, but there's a difference. He made the face with his vegetables on the plate. Things like that, having to have things in order and having to make, like, that's something that we tend to look for when someone brings their child in for assessments. Like, what are you seeing him do at home? This fascination with animals and Peter Pan, and that, for me, sticks out.
I recently learned that not eating is a sign. Michael did not like food. He would force himself to eat because he knew he needed to. He didn't like eating.
Particular. He was very particular when he did like a food. He hyperfixated on it, and that's the only food he would want. That's another thing. So for me, just knowing that, I'm like, yeah. And to be clear, this is what I need people to know too, because we often look at neurodivergence and the autism spectrum as something is wrong with the person. It's just a unique way of being and processing. And it often leads to things like how big of a superstar he was because he was so hyper fixated on music and perfection. He was able to put that into the things he did. So don't ever think that because somebody is neurodivergent, they can't be a success. He is proof. Yeah, you can. And a lot of y'all faves is neurodivergent. They might not know it, but they are. Okay, let's see. That's why Michael was special. I agree. For neurodivergent, people have said he would switch on and off his deep voice. Now, his voice change is something different. His voice change is something different. I ain't sure that was tied to the neurodivergence. That was tied to him wanting to remain a mystery, which was a scene in the movie. Him saying he wanted to be mysterious because if what did he say? If
you know Haley's comment is coming.
Yeah, if you know Haley's comment is coming, would you still want to see it? He wanted to be a mystery, and that tied in with fantasy and mystery, keeping that softer, higher voice. But also, be clear, all them Jacksons have soft voices. Catherine had a soft voice. So they don't speak loudly. That's just natural to them. They have softer voices. They're more docile and even shy at times. That's natural to them. I think that's genetic.
Absolutely. Okay. I also want y'all to remember that Michael Jackson and Tupac got into a scuffle at Quincy Jones' house and Michael won. So don't be confused.
We're going to say allegedly for that, but we know that alleged story. Mike wasn't no punk. You got to know that too. Another thing about Joseph Jackson being their daddy and being a boxer, he taught them boys how to fight, and they was from Gary, Indiana. Be clear that they could whoop ass. I just want y'all to know. Like, people take the Jacksons as punks because they soft-spoken. You will get your ass whooped. Okay? I still think to this day, Jackie will knock somebody out.
Right? Jackie is I'm going to tell you, it's the two of them that let me know that if asses need to be whooped, these are the two you call. My spirit said Tito and Jackie. Tito and Jackie looked like hands being thrown was not an issue. And Tito looked the most like Joseph. He had his build, height, holding. He looked a lot like Joseph. And they show a video of, I believe it was Marlon, Jermaine, Jackie, and Tito in the studio. And Tito was producing, and they kept playing. And he started hollering at them. And Jermaine, goofy self, said, "Look at him standing out there looking like his daddy." A lot of y'all, like, listen, I'm telling you, I think we need to stop just talking about the politics, the scandals, and the music, and remember that they was a black ass family.
They were.
And I'm just proud of that. They were a black ass family, and they never pretended to be anything other than that.
I gotta tell you, sis. Tiffany said, keep in mind, Tito was the only Libra. And I understand. You
I didn't know that.
You sitting here talking to two Libras. I
didn't know that. Gang, gang.
Gang, gang. We try to keep the balance, but don't play. Don't play.
Oh my goodness.
So let's see. Somebody asked, Josh asked, do you? Yes, I do. I personally believe Michael was a musical prophet. And also somebody said Michael spoke about wearing the glasses more often later in life. Like he would always keep his shades on because he didn't want people to be able to look into his soul. He was very spiritual. Michael was extremely spiritual. And I think we got to see some of that along with the manifester in this film. He manifested a lot. Manifested a lot.
Sidebar, Lady FBA all day. Love you. Welcome. Love you. You've been tearing this comment section up. But I just want to say to you really quickly that you're absolutely right. Randy was also about that life. And they said he literally walked in Janet and LaToya's houses to collect them, rescue them, and handle big business about his sisters when they was being abused by their man. I heard that as well. It's a channel on YouTube called The Detail, and it is dedicated to all things Michael Jackson and his siblings, if you all ever want to go check it out. And they talk about that. It's a LaToya Detail documentary where they talk about how Randy saved his sister.
Yep. And let's be clear, when we talk about things that pass down, Randy was abusive to his girls, his women that he was with. Because Tina Turner shot Randy in the ass. Look it up. It's facts.
When he said Tina Turner pew-pewed me, I laughed because I thought it was a joke.
It wasn't a joke. It was real. Tina Turner
was not a joke. Tina Turner put the slug.
They kept that out of the news. They kept that out of the news because Tina didn't press charges. But this was after Tina had left Ike, and Tina wasn't about to deal with nobody else abusive. And she was protecting her previous daughter-in-law, because that's who Randy was dating. She was no longer with Tina's son. She was with Randy, and Randy was abusive. Broke into Tina's house by smashing a window, and Tina shot him in the ass.
Yes. And they said the only person who could get Randy together was Joseph. When Randy would start cutting up, people would call Joseph, and that was the only one that could make it stop. Didn't matter what the situation was. What else going on in this comment section? Somebody said they think it was just LaToya. It could have been just LaToya, but what you gotta remember is we going off whatever information we piecing together that the internet or documentaries have provided. So nobody knows the truth of these things but the people involved. We can only talk our shit with what we've been given. So it could have just been LaToya, but word on the street was it was LaToya with her former manager, and it was Janet when she was dating a DeBarge.
Oh, yes, when she was married. They got married.
Yes.
Married, yeah. They went and got her. Because the DeBarge family, Lord, that's a whole... Now, if I did a psychological analysis...
When they gonna get a movie?
They have a movie. You ain't never seen the DeBarge movie?
You better send it to me. No.
I'll send it to you when we get off. The DeBarges got a movie, baby. Their life story is tragic. Okay?
I bet it is.
Ooh.
Oh, y'all, don't forget... if y'all want to see somebody whoop ass in style, my girl Mickey Howard.
She will always go back
to
Mickey Howard.
If you ever want to see an ass whooping in a film for your pleasure, the Mickey Howard story is what you need. So much ass just all up and down the screen. Just ass getting whooped at childhood.
Mickey wasn't
ass
about
getting
no
whooped as a teenager. Ass getting whooped as an adult. And her ass whoopings was equal opportunity, baby. Men was getting ass whoopings. Women was getting ass whoopings.
Oddly enough, you bring in Mickey Howard and her son, B. Howard. It's always been alleged that either Michael or Joseph is his daddy, but we're not going to talk about that. We're not going to talk about that. We're going to keep going. We're not going to do that. We're going to keep going on the movie. All right, y'all done had some great comments. Let's see. Michael and Prince were both spiritual. They absolutely were. Yep, we mentioned the Tupac thing. MJ whooping Tupac ass, allegedly. We're going to get back to the movie, though. The movie, because I knew this would happen. You can't talk about Michael without talking about all the things that come up when talking about Michael. Let's see. That was actually in the movie. There was a scene. Matter of fact, I wanted to talk about this scene in the movie because I want to talk about how they really missed a golden opportunity to interject a scene from American Dream right here. So let me tell you the scene. So the scene is they are at the house in the pool. The boys are all in the swimming pool in California. And Michael is floating along and thinking, and the brothers are like, Mike, what you doing? He said, listening for the creator. If I don't listen, he'll give it to Prince. That scene not only showed me that he had much respect for Prince and knew that Prince was just as on par as he was with that musical talent and that connection to the creator, but they missed an opportunity. Because the way I felt like after that scene, they could have interjected one of my scenes from the Jackson 5 when Joseph is at that pool and say, Michael Marlon, who left the towel in the swimming pool? And that's when Angela Bassett, as Catherine, says, what you gonna do, beat him? You gonna go get a switch and beat him? The boys are Joseph. Go to bed, Joseph. Go to bed. They missed an opportunity. They could have put that scene.
You know, I think they kept it out because only Angela could tell Joseph to go to bed. I don't think Nia Long had what we needed to tell Joseph to go to bed. That's why I think they left it out. But and no disrespect to Nia Long because I feel like great damn boots. But her Catherine, this is what I will say. Angela Bassett's Catherine was the Catherine none of us knew. Nia Long's Catherine is the Catherine we knew.
I think so too.
I really felt like that. I remember watching American Dream, and you get to know Katie. Angela Bassett is Katie. You got to see her as a young girl having babies, and you got to see her pregnant. They actually gave time for you to see the development of Catherine when it's Angela Bassett's depiction.
Yep.
This movie is about Michael and Michael only. So there are no deeper dives into the rest of the family like American Dream was. So Nia Long was playing the Catherine I always saw growing up. Her hair curled under, her outfit very conservative. So we saw, you know how we've been saying over and over again, we didn't see shit new in this movie. That's what the Catherine I got was like, okay, nothing new about Catherine just happened. That's the Catherine I saw on 60 Minutes. That's the Catherine I saw at the funeral. That's that. I know that Catherine.
Yep. I would agree. They played two different parts of Catherine, those two actresses, and it fit perfectly for those two actresses. And that's another thing with the movie too. Like she just said, this film was about Michael. This is why it was irrelevant that Janet wasn't portrayed.
Every time somebody asked where Janet was at, I said in her own biopic. The fuck?
She wasn't need to be portrayed. This wasn't about anybody else but Michael, really. Yes, the Jackson 5 were there. Yes, you saw Catherine and Joseph, and that was the relationship that I love the fact that they zoned in on, was his relationship with Bill, his security guard, Bill. I love that they highlighted that more. But Janet didn't need to be in this movie. Randy wasn't portrayed in this movie, if you pay attention. They didn't actually give Randy like a speaking part. And Diana Ross wasn't portrayed. But please understand something real quick. Diana Ross didn't discover them. Gladys Knight discovered them, and that is why Gladys Knight was portrayed and should have been, because people love to forget that it was Gladys and not Diana. Diana, let me tell you what Motown did, what Barry did. Barry used the Jackson 5 to pull Diana into solo artist arena. Because before them, Diana hadn't done solo yet. She was with the Supremes. The reason why that one Jackson 5 album, I think it might be their first one, is called Diana Ross Presents the Jackson 5, is because they wanted to pull her out so that you would see her as one person versus a group, a girl group. She didn't discover them, though. Gladys Knight did. So if people were wondering why Gladys Knight was the one in the film and not Diana, first of all, Diana wouldn't sign off on them portraying her. And I think that there's a reason she didn't, because we all have the thought process of what went on with Diana and Michael.
First of all, they claim that Diana Ross's character was in the movie, and when she saw her parts, she had them removed. So that tells me all I need to know. They also interviewed the actress that played Diana Ross. Diana Ross was in the movie. And the reason why it took us so long for this movie to come out is because there were many people in the movie who y'all keep saying wasn't in the movie. Oh, they was in the movie. And when they saw their part in the movie, they said, run me my shit, absolutely not. Because everybody don't want their draws out, y'all. Y'all gotta stop being addicted to tea.
can't be addicted to the tea. That's not the important thing when it comes to Michael, to me. But yeah, Janet was actually portrayed in the movie. You know who was playing her, which was a perfect casting? Halle Bailey. Halle was playing Janet. There's pictures. If you go to the internet and Google, they have pictures of her in costume with Catherine and LaToya. They had promo pictures with Halle.
I can see that.
It was spot on for Janet. But
we didn't do a Reby though?
They did. Reby was already gone anyway. Reby was married at 17 and had left that house, baby.
Reby was out.
Reby got out. So not portraying Reby really wasn't a shock because she wasn't there by that time. She was gone. Because people also fail to realize the ages of the boys. By the time we see the Jackson 5 on TV, Jackie is 19 years old.
Yeah.
Jackie and Tito had a full regular adolescent experience. They went to high school, like they finished regular school. Jackie was going to the pros in baseball. He chose music over his love of baseball. So people forget that. And we see in the movie where even Michael, Barry told him to lie about his age. Michael was 10. He was like, no, you 8. You 8 years old.
What happened was they were auditioning and working the children's circuit and all that when Michael was 5. From 5 to 10, they hustling. 10, they hit. Yep. Their brother's like, hey, 8-year-olds sell more records.
You're 8. You're 8 years old. Yep.
The hustle.
Yeah, Bobby Taylor and Gladys. You are right, Anthony Hester. Bobby Taylor and Gladys Knight were the ones who discovered them and took them to Motown. The Jacksons opened for them on a show, and they discovered them. Hold on. Thank y'all for the follows. Thank y'all for the follows.
I know it's been fabulous. Thank you so much. We're sitting at 3,000 likes, but pretty please like it more than that.
Please. And I want to highlight Michelle Mabel, you have been so awesome. All of y'all have, but Michelle Mabel, you said, I wanted to share something. I'm Mexican American, and I'm so glad this live popped on my TikTok. I feel right at home here. That is what we are always looking for. We are building community and connection. That's always been my thing. I love the fact that you said that because that's what we want. We having fun and we talking about things that might get people heated because they Michael Jackson fans and we might disagree. At the end of the day, we're just here to celebrate Michael and who he was, celebrate this film, and also just chill with y'all and have a good time. So we hope y'all are having a good time with it. Also, he was fine. We ain't said that yet, but Mike was fine. All right? Mike is fine.
I love you, Liberian girl.
Because somebody on Threads today, I called Red earlier and was talking about this. Somebody on Threads today had the unmitigated gall and audacity to say, I've never known this many women to be attracted to Michael Jackson in this way. Ooh, I was a very little girl and in love with Michael Jackson. Then Sammy vividly remember seeing the Bad video and falling in love with that man.
Oh no, you want to know when I fell in love with him? I don't know if y'all remember, but once upon a time, Michael Jackson went on tour with his Dangerous album.
Oh my God.
And he had this era where he used to wear these black pants with a gold leotard. Don't ask me what the hell this was about. But he put that gold leotard over them black pants. And that baby that I used to be said, what's going on here? Listen, I was in love. He had a ponytail. It was a ponytail. And he would leave one curl out that motherfucker right here. And a couple of stragglers around the edges. Stay with me. He would put the jacket and the fedora over top of the leotard to do the Smooth Criminal live. I watched him do Smooth Criminal live on the Dangerous tour. And I knew that was my husband, father, baby daddy, uncle.
Whatever he wanted to do in my life would have worked.
Whatever age I was is what he was. When I was a child and I was innocent and I didn't know nothing about popping coochie, he was my uncle. When I got older and realized I could pop coochie, if Michael Jackson could have been a coochie popping recipient. Oh, baby, I would have been his R. Kelly scandal. They would have, and I would have been the first on the mic. This is me, y'all, at the press conference. This is consensual. I don't know why y'all so up in smoke. This is not a crime.
Why y'all mad? I asked for this.
I was hiding in his trunk. Security keep trying to keep me from coming over here.
And that's what threw me. Do you know how many women did that? Tried to bum rush that man's car and house. He was fine. Do you understand me? He was fine. Let me see.
Like a ticket on the dash.
Cause y'all
like baby edges, like frog hair.
Baby, did the movie show their TV show? No, it didn't. It didn't.
No, I wish it did a little bit.
I do.
But y'all gotta remember, that would be a Jackson's movie. If they come out with another Jackson's movie, you're gonna get more of that.
Yes.
This was about the movie called Michael.
Yes.
And they left off Jackson for a reason. Exactly. Because it's not about no other Jackson.
Exactly. TV Vibes 3.0, welcome. So we already discussed that. That was a big live. What I'm gonna try to do is get this live reposted on my YouTube so people can watch it. But yes, we talked about his autistic traits. We can't say for sure that he was, but me as a professional mental health provider, I absolutely believe he was neurodivergent at best and autistic. As well, but that's my personal thoughts. Now, Shani from SC, thank you for sharing this live. Yes, that smile, Genovia. That's why I was confused when I read that. I was like, who told you Michael wasn't fine and sexy and that women didn't want him? Yeah, we did. In the movie, I told Red this when I saw it. I called her because she saw it before me. I called her and I said, Red, the scene where Michael is in the limo with Quincy and they go into Studio 54, baby, he would have had me that evening. Oh, did y'all see the scene where he
Let me tell y'all something. When, the night he won them Grammys, no drawers. It would have been one of my panties hanging from the horn. You know how the Grammys got that little horn? It would have been my drawers hanging from the horn on the Grammy. How you holding them like this? My panties would have been dangling off the end. But what are y'all talking about? Listen. That man made glitter look like pineapple sex wax. I don't know what y'all are talking about.
Listen, and not only that, the scene in the film, because to me, it's more than just, so when it comes to appeal and attraction, yes, the physical is what you see first, but it's more than that. You do realize that the scene in the film that gave us the background, which many people already did know, this Negro drove the Crips and Bloods in limousines to a building for the Beat It video. When he was in the mirror, I was like, and that day he could have had it.
First of all, can we show Jaafar real quick? Because we got to give Jaafar that credit right there. That boy right there. I'm telling y'all, he about to get all the coochie his uncle didn't get. He's going to have to be careful. He needs security detail on him.
Let me tell you something real quick about Jaafar's portrayal. It wasn't so much the look. He's related. That's his uncle. He was going to favor his uncle. He also looks like a lot like his father. He looked like Jermaine. That's his daddy. He looked like there were scenes in this movie where I legit was like, oh my God, he looked too much like him in this scene. But it was more than the look with Jaafar for me. When he first opened his mouth to speak, I said, I've seen too many Michael portrayals. He's the only one who sounds like that man. Like the mannerisms, the sound and tone of his voice. I was like, he don't talk like that. I've seen him in interviews. He embodied his uncle's voice. Like, if you were to hear Jaafar speak in that voice, you would not know it was not Michael. There's no way you'd be able to differentiate. He bodied, and this man has never acted a day in his life, nor did he ever want to act. He wanted to play golf. I want to be clear. He said that in an interview. He wanted to be a famous golfer. This was his first time acting. You're not about to tell me that he doesn't have the same natural talent as his uncle, because he brought something to that screen that was just, I don't even know how to describe it.
Let me be clear. I love that from her. I love that, Ash. That was great. I'll take the brunt and be the hoe of the podcast. Jaafar need to come on down here to where I'm at and get this coochie. And I want him to do it dressed in the Grammys costume. Matter of fact, I want him to do it with them glittery striped pants on at the Victory Tour singing Human Nature. That's
Somebody just mentioned them glittery pants. She said them glittery pants is trending.
Let me tell you something. I want Jaafar Jackson to take his ass over there and get them glitter pants and come over here with a laser light show and sing Rock With You as I slowly get naked. I don't care nothing about what she's talking about or the talent that golfing all over there. I'm so glad she came with the facts, but I'm going to come with the whole facts. And I would like it if Jaafar Jackson was on my library card of Hotri's. I want him to check me out. I want him to check me out. I need that. I want him to get up in that thing and go, I need the experience. I would pay money. That's not ladylike of me, and I sincerely apologize about it. But I've never been a liar, and I'm not going to start tonight. I completely sexualized Jaafar Jackson with no shame, and that's him in costume, out of costume. He can give you Jaafar and Michael. We can have a threesome with both of him being both dudes. I really don't care. But what needs to take place is Schminter course. So.
If you're just getting here, I just want you to know, if you just heard that from Red after hearing what I said, understand that was just very much the balance of Libras. We both gave you what you needed. The balance of a Libra. We are both Libras. We gave y'all some balance because she went with the whole facts. And I appreciate that. I appreciate
educational facts, whole facts. Both facts.
All facts here. All facts. I went with what was true to the movie and the talent, and she went with what would be true in real life because he could get it. And that's okay. That's okay. All right? Just know that you're going to have fun here with us, okay? Realness all around, okay? Just to let you know. All right, now. How y'all doing? Who up in here? They better get that baby some detail because the cougar's going to be on it. Listen, Red's not far away from him in age.
He need help. Get him some milk.
Red, you're not far away from him in age, though.
How old is Jaafar again?
Jafar's 30.
What you mean? And they say, why is she sitting on his face? Why?
Oh my God.
Why was she doing that way? And they say, you doing that. Oh, tell them. What you mean?
Welcome, y'all. I'm glad y'all laughing.
I ain't got nothing but 6 years on Jaafar.
You only got 6 years on Jaafar. I only got 10. Hell.
You do me that.
Jaafar Jackson got a whole fiance.
I ain't got nothing to do with that.
No, not that. Nobody in the comments said that. I was saying that because Tiff. Now, you know me and you have gone and debated on a lot of things, baby boy. What you're not going to do is tell me them Jacksons don't like women. What? Is it because they soft-spoken we think that they don't like women? Because they get women and they like women. Have you seen Tito's interview about Michael? Yeah, they got women. And now that, we could go on another live. You meant black women. Well, here's something interesting about that fact. Just to go off on a tangent real quick.
She's cute.
Marlon is still married to his first wife, who is black. Jermaine's first wife was black. Randy,
the fiance is cute.
Randy has dealt with his fiance. Now, her fiance is I don't know if she's white, but she's not black. They've all been with black women. Like, we're not gonna sit up here and just say, oh, they don't like black women. They've all been with black women. I don't think any of them doesn't like black women. They just like women, and because of the access they had, they could get any woman.
I am taking a step further and say that I think they like all women. They are attracted to all women. They definitely have slept with all women. Here's the caveat. I think in their level of wealth, in their hierarchy circle, the white women are more desirable. And I don't think it's aesthetic. I think it is. Lord, I hate going here. We have to be honest about the white tea woman in our society being used as a sign of privilege and wealth. And the type of white tea women that they marry, it's not like they go into the trailer park. They're marrying Vanderbilt's cousins. They're marrying Rothschild's great-grand third niece. Like, they're wealthy and prestigious enough that when you turn to your left and turn to your right, it's beautiful children of rich white tea men there, right? So I've never thought that they consciously select women who are not black. I don't believe that. I think that they have always tried to cement their status as wealthy black folk, and they try to prove points, and they take the women they have access to.
And I would venture to say, let's be quite clear how long these people been famous. They were already famous when Michael Jackson was 10 years old. They gained the fame. So you had, because even before we get to Mike's era, like Michael and what this movie focused on, these boys had girls chasing them down when they were the Jackson 5. When Jackie was 19 and 20 years old. So to make the comment that you just made that when them boys had a choice, it was anything but black. They always had a choice. They never did not have a choice of what girl they wanted to be with, even as a girlfriend.
They were with
did
black
not have a
women.
choice.
What are we talking about?
They what?
They were with black women. What are we talking
They
about?
were with multiple black women. Like they've been with multiple black women over the course of years. Like, I don't get this idea that they don't want to be with or don't like. Again, Marlon is still with his first black wife. So what we really saying? Marlon is still married to his first black wife. Joseph, that wasn't Joseph's influence, because if we being real, Joseph hated white people.
Couldn't stand.
Joseph would have never.
You gotta be careful. Joseph is definitely reverse Archie Bunker. And I also want to go as far as to say, it's the Jackson girls that you didn't see with too many black partners.
No, Rebe was with her black husband until he died.
Well, Rebe don't count because a lot of people don't even know Rebe exists. LaToya and Janet are the public view Jackson girls. Well, and you only saw them with a handful of black men.
If naming the people that I know from her admitting it that she's been with, she was with a DeBarge. The DeBarges were biracial. Their mom was black, their dad was white. So she was with a DeBarge. She was with that prince over there. He wasn't white. He was something else, but he wasn't white.
He was something. He was Middle Eastern for sure.
And then she was with black ass Jermaine Dupri. So
correct. V just said that, but I want y'all to realize Janet Jackson is almost 60 years old, and y'all can only name one brother she was with.
She is 60, but we also don't know a lot of people Janet was with.
No, that's true. But I'm just saying, if we're making commentary on what we could see,
Janet was with Bobby.
Janet with one black dude.
Janet was with Bobby. Let's pause. Janet was with Bobby Brown. Who? Bobby Brown.
Janet gave Bobby Brown some Gucci.
Janet was with Bobby Brown, and that's a known fact. Okay. And she was with Q-Tip. That is right. Her and Q-Tip dated. That was public knowledge. Thank you, Celine's making it personal. Thank you for that. Yeah, Janet turned 60 in like a week. Yep. Now wait a minute, OC means. Wait, is that true? Now that one I know I'm not saying.
Hold on, wait a minute. I got tea. As of 2026, Janet Jackson is with Mustafa Farrakhan, son of Louis Farrakhan.
Are you
last spotted celebrating Valentine's Day in Detroit?
Well, shut my mouth.
So excuse the hell out of me. Not only do she date black, she date black Muslim.
Nation of Islam Muslim. Jesus. Speaking of that, Jermaine is he converted to Islam, and Jermaine while we talk about kids, it is very problematic that Jermaine is a whole 70. What's Jermaine? Because Jackie just turned 75. Jermaine is about 74, and Jermaine's wife is 26, and they got a 3-year-old child. Jermaine's wife is younger than his oldest kids. I just wanted to say I don't understand Jermaine. Jermaine is the quintessential picture of I'm just sitting here looking crazy, because he be looking crazy. And his choices are crazy. And his kids, some of the older ones, they are with Randy's baby mama. Randy and Jermaine share a baby mama that Randy had first, and the kids is sibling cousins.
Jaafar is the oldest of the sibling cousin drama, by the way. Jafar's mama is that lady.
Is Randy's baby mama. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Your aunt mama, your mama aunt.
So I want to say that since we talking about real tea right now, and mind you, this is stuff that you can look up easily. We ain't saying nothing new. Just like this movie wasn't saying nothing new. Now, were there certain things that we did learn and pull from the movie? Yes. Like for instance, if we gonna get back to the movie review real quick, I love the fact that they fixated on Michael visiting children in hospitals and giving whole millions of dollars to the burn unit in California at that hospital after he was burned, and his literal love of children. That, of course, we could get into other stuff down the road that they that part, but I like that they highlighted his care of children and the fact that he didn't want to see any child hurting or any child harmed. I like that they showed that side of him, that gentle side of him. And I feel like had Michael been any other type of man, it might have looked odder to me than it does. But because I also now see him as being possibly neurodivergent and knowing the trauma he experienced and never having a real childhood, it kind of makes more sense to me. Get mad at me all you want, but it kind of makes more sense to me. That's all I'm saying.
I'm going to go left real quick. And I want to discuss something that I truly learned from the film when it came to the burn thing. I grew up thinking that Michael's hair caught on fire and it was like, and they helped him and it was the end. The movie taught me how severe this accident was. I'm telling y'all, me, like I said, for everybody who may or may not know, September of 1990, that's my era. Mm-hmm. And by the time I grew up hearing about Michael Jackson's Pepsi incident, to me, they glossed over it. They did not relay this story. Like, I knew everybody knows about this. This is definitely not a secret.
No.
Even the Jackson 5 movie covered it. Mm-hmm. If y'all remember, they showed it. Yep. This movie showed it. I never saw it portrayed this way. So just to give you about the scene. So the reenactment is they had been working all damn day. They had enough scenes for this. And the director says, no, I want to get one more shot. I want Michael closer to the pyrotechnics. So he's up there. And for all of you who may or may not know how the commercial goes, it was Billie Jean, but the words were repurposed for Pepsi. You're the Pepsi generation, but it's Billie Jean. Mm-hmm. As he's hitting the moves and cutting up, the pyrotechnics in the back go flash. You see the flame ignite his hair.
Yep.
And the flame is blue.
Yep.
I don't know if y'all know anything about fire, but when fire blue, it's a chemical fire because of everything in his hair.
Yep.
They said that he felt it was hot, but he didn't think nothing of it. Michael continues doing choreography, running on down the stairs. He shakes his head. Once that happens, everybody panics. So much so that somebody in the audience said, oh my God, I think he's been pew-pew. Like they didn't know what happened because he goes down and they patting his head and they trying to put him out. The part they did not tell us is his entire skull was exposed.
They listen. That
do you know how traumatic that is? So we made fun of this man wearing wigs and he had to because the hair never grew back there.
His nerves, the nerves were damaged, and they didn't go as far as they could have in the film because Catherine talked about this in an interview. His mother, in an actual interview she did, she said that when that incident happened, they had to put a balloon under his skin, his scalp that was burned. They had to put a balloon under there and inflate it, and the amount of pain, because nerve damage causes you wouldn't even understand the level of pain that nerve damage causes. He was in pain. And that is when, mind you, like so many other, I noticed something interesting about some of these famous people, some of these famous artists who got into drugs in some way. They were the very people who didn't want to touch a drug. Michael didn't want the pain meds, but the doctor told him, man, listen, you are going to be in some excruciating pain. You're going to need it. He didn't want it. A lot of people who got hooked on drugs through some type of surgery or accident or something like that, They didn't want to touch pain medicines and drugs. They didn't.
Because they knew what it would do to
They
him, at
knew what
least
it
on
would
some
do.
type of level.
They
And
knew
here's
it.
the real sad part. Michael was so determined not to take it that he dealt with that pain until he couldn't. They said he just
He couldn't
passed out from
anymore.
it. And then when he woke up and they told him they had to do it again, he said he'd take the medicine
He
that
would take
time.
the medicines.
That's how
Exactly.
bad it was.
That and I didn't know. Now, this is something that I found out from the movie. I will say that I had never known, or maybe I just blocked it out. I had no freaking idea that Don King was a part of this scenario.
Girl, me neither. Mess me up. Mess me up.
I was like, where we getting Don King from? Don King and Joe made a deal. And Don King brought up Pepsi needing to be rebranded and using Michael for that rebrand. Because anything Michael touched would sell. So that was new to me, the Don King part. He was a promoter, I knew that, but I didn't know that he was doing that with the Jacksons. It had to do with the Victory Tour. I didn't know that until
I'm going to tell you something else I didn't know. You know how on YouTube right now, all the Michael Jackson people who have been studying him for life, they are doing the film and then filling in the blanks. Mm-hmm. I learned that the night of the Grammy win for Michael Jackson, he has on that medical balloon topping underneath a wig. And that some of the burns went into his hairline, so he got on heavy makeup near his sunshades. He was in pain at the Grammys.
Yep. And we know also, too, another thing that the movie really does highlight, which we already knew. And I don't know why it's so hard for people to believe. Hell, my best friend has vitiligo. Michael had vitiligo. Why do people refuse to believe that? It was like obvious in some pictures from back in the day. He had vitiligo. Vitiligo causes your skin to lighten in certain areas due to melanin loss, melanin deficiency. And he had vitiligo. He also had lupus. So
yes,
Mike and lupus can be painful. Again, it's an autoimmune disorder. Lupus can be painful. He had a lot going on that he worked his ass through and still became the superstar that we know, who made the best short film videos ever. Like, so with the that brings me back to the part in the film where he gets his first nose surgery. Now, actually, according to all other research, he had his first nose surgery because he broke his nose during a rehearsal. Yes. They didn't make it seem like that in the film. They made it seem like he went for that first one because he just wanted it. No, his first one was because he broke his nose in a rehearsal. Then he had a second one. So I don't know if the film was showing. No, because if you notice in the film when he's sitting in that chair, she asking the nurse, "Have you ever had any surgery before?" He says no. So I don't believe he would have lied about that because that was important for the nurse and the doctor to know. The doctor then says, my nose is not proportionate and I need to be perfect for pictures. The doctor says,
you're a pretty handsome kid.
You're a pretty handsome kid. And it looks perfectly fine to me. And he was like, well, the doctor finally said, well, you man, you make the decisions. But even the doctor knew, no, for your face, your nose fits. What we neglect often, and I say we neglect, but I know people know. In the film, you hear one of the first things Joseph calls him in an attacking way is big nose. There's also the fact that was Joseph's nose. He had his daddy's nose. The one thing on his face that showed you that this is my daddy was that nose. And that's the one thing Joseph himself called out, which I didn't understand. Like, he got your nose. But then Michael goes to get his nose done. He was one of the first black superstars, or stars in general, to get a nose job, and other stars followed in his footsteps because he did it. There was an interview on The Breakfast Club with Patti LaBelle, Stephanie Mills, and Shaka Khan. Patti and Stephanie both admitted and said, as soon as Michael got his nose job, we went and got ours. Him and Stephanie dated. So Stephanie knew him. And she said, I asked him about it. And he said, oh, it's not bad. It's simple. And she was like, I immediately went and got mine. The only one of those ladies that didn't have any work done was Shaka. Shaka Khan's never had any work done. But Patty's had a nose job. Stephanie's had a nose job. And a lot of black celebrities after Michael felt like it was okay. It opened the door for them to be able to do that. But Michael's reasoning for doing it, we can't ignore that it was a lot of things that Joseph said to make him feel insecure about how he looked, along with dealing with vitiligo and lupus. So Michael got that job. But in the film, in the scene where he walks back in the house after having it, he is afraid as hell to turn around and face Joseph. He's scared. He stood there until Joseph said, "Come here, Michael." And he turns around. And what fascinated me about that scene is Joseph acted surprised that he did it. Why are you shocked that he did this, sir?
I think what got to me about the scene was he laughed at him. And not to spill too much of my tea, because I don't know y'all, but as somebody who is the youngest of 6 siblings, and having an older sibling that sometimes I could feel was very harsh to me, my 2 triggers to this day is this person laughing at me or calling me stupid. And I think people really undermine the effect that people have on you for the rest of your life. And what made Joseph so scary, in my opinion, is either he physically attacked you or he psychologically made you feel worthless. And there was no middle. So when someone is insecure about something and they think they're going to get it fixed, and they fixed it and they feel good about it, LaToya told them it looked good. The doctor said it turned out good. Everybody said the nose looked good, but Joseph still made him feel bad about the damn nose. And when it comes down to it, the tragedy of Michael Jackson is simple. Because Lord knows I suffered from it. And I feel like I connected with him. This movie showed me that Michael was everything I imagined him to be. Watching Michael was like watching a real life Harry Potter. And, oh God, I'm getting nerdy as hell. For me,
Love it.
I was watching the greatest wizard of all time. I was watching a priest of manifestation. I was watching someone who was sent here to use music to change the world. We were literally watching something that, not to sound blasphemous, but we were literally watching something that could have easily been a testament or a story in the Bible.
Somebody earlier said he was a musical prophet, and I agree. He was
I truly agree with that, because what we don't realize is Michael's songs either taught you a lesson, told you a story, or inspired change. Heal the World won't just a record. Heal the World proactively made enough money that started actually healing those children. All of those children got help. And Michael wasn't no playboy about his money. If Michael said he was donating something to a cause, the cause got it. It was never a Ponzi scheme. It was never no BS. When Michael said he wanted his donation to go somewhere, that's where it went. And those children or those people he helped would get that money, and they would report back and say, Michael helped me do this. This got done because of Michael. My skin was able to grow back. Michael did healing and protection of people that he couldn't even do for himself. And when you see a person who comes here who's meant to make a difference, their whole story is suffering. And it's a tragic ending. If you ask me, because I don't want to insult my Christians, nobody, I'm not trying to do that. But there are certain people who walk this earth who you know God sent. God created everybody, but there's certain people you know God sent. And nobody's going to ever make me not believe that that wasn't Michael Joseph Jackson.
Thank you. First of all, thank you for saying that. I wholeheartedly agree. And I love the fact that you said Michael was healing people in a way that he couldn't even heal himself. And a lot of times your healers and your people who are sent come here and they suffer while they heal other people. And in the mental health field, there's a term for that type of person. We call that a wounded healer. They themselves are wounded. They themselves have trauma, but they heal so many other people in whatever ways. And Michael, to me, you got to remember, this man made songs like Earth Song. environmentalists, because baby, you're talking about the earth crying out. You're talking about the people who are destroying the literal earth in a song. Heal the world, again, like she said. The songs like these songs had a meaning to them that sometimes we might wash over because of his star. And it's like, no, he was talking. He was trying to man in the mirror. Man in the mirror literally was saying, hey, it starts with you. You trying to tell everybody else to change and do XYZ and help XYZ. Look in the mirror, it's you. You walk past the person on the street that's hungry. You walk past the needy. Like, it starts here with you and with me. I think that Michael falls under wounded healer. He falls under musical prophet. He falls under a messenger sent by God. And people try to say, well, no, because of other things he was accused of doing. If you are a Christian on this live right now, name me one person in the Bible who was sent by God to do anything important that wasn't flawed as hell. David raped Bathsheba. Moses killed a man. So none of the people in the Bible that we laud were perfect at all. Paul murdered Christians before his conversion on the road to Damascus. Be very clear. You don't get to ignore Michael being a messenger sent by God because he might have been imperfect. If you believe those things, again, you don't get to say, oh, but he wasn't because of this. No, he still absolutely was.
Absolutely is.
Like,
is this working? How do I sound?
I should have plugged up my mic, but I got okay. I'm good.
I was letting it charge for a second. Now, here's my thing with it. You have to remember that the people who unalived Christ made up lies about him too.
Thank you.
So being accused of something and being found innocent of it twice, I'm not about to play with people who keep bringing that up. Anybody who keeps bringing up the allegations against Michael Jackson is a hater, because it's one thing if he was convicted like the other predators. And I also want y'all to know something. If Michael was guilty, they would have got him because he's still a black man. If he did this to white-teeth, sick children, this wouldn't be a conversation. Y'all gotta, I mean, think of...
And be clear, because I have looked. The Neverland documentary that so many people point to. Do you know how much of that was edited? A lot of it was taken out. Like, from when they first premiered it. They premiered it, and then they put it out again, and stuff was missing from that first one. Like, I need people to understand something. You are never going to convince most people that a black man could have done what they accused that man of, being investigated for 10 plus years, the FBI getting involved, and him not getting in trouble if he did those things. If they could genuinely prove it, hardcore prove it. Because what I now think, especially given all that we now know about the Epstein files and trafficking and everything else, is that they killed this man.
That's another lie, Ash.
That's another lie. We're going to get
that's another lie.
Past the film, baby. That's
past the film. That's another lie. And what I'm looking forward to is the second film. Because I want y'all to realize Michael has a part two.
It's a part two coming out.
That's where it's really going to show up at. Because let me tell you something. And like I said, I can't prove nothing. I don't know. She just is me talking. But I'm going to tell y'all something real near and dear when it comes to Michael for me. Michael had a song called Tabloid Junkie.
Michael,
one of the best songs ever made. He had a song called Tabloid Junkie.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the hardest diss records of all time, if you've never heard it. Tabloid Junkie is a diss record to all tabloid journalists of the time. And he outright, up front, accused them, not even accused, told them to their face that they were being paid and promoted to slander him by his enemies. It was never no secret. And I think what people really need to understand about Michael Jackson, and it's so unfortunate, the way that the modern day people stand up for Diddy, the way that modern day people are arguing benefit of the doubt for Kelly,
Oh.
Why Michael didn't get that support? It's too many people that was so ready to accept that he did this. And I'm going to tell you my theory on why. It's a 3-point, okay, that I'm going to make here. One, it was simply racism. Systematically, a black man was never meant to outsell Elvis nor marry his daughter.
Oh.
2, it was patriarchy trying to snuff out a man who embodied masculinity and femininity equally. Michael Jackson was able to show other men, especially black men, that you don't have to be what they tell you to be. You can just be who you are and watch how the world will respond to your truth. They wanted to snuff him out because he was loved, and a black man was never meant to be loved. Okay. 3, last but not least, we also have a culture that tries to really push perfectionism. And Michael was never afraid to show you that he was not perfect. They want an ideal man to be the head of manhood, and he did not check those boxes. As a matter of fact, he was the antithesis of those boxes, therefore making him an enemy to the overall system. So patriarchy was his enemy. YT men specifically was his enemy. And then, this is so sad to say, Michael also had haters from his own community. And it is simply because, and it's very clear, most men, no matter their race, because I'm never going to attack the black man, it's really not my thing, most men will never reach their full potential. And when they find a man who does, what you will see historically is they unalive him. This is Nipsey. This is Malcolm. This is Martin. This is Fred. It goes on and on and on. The majority of men are not good people. And when a man thrives through the muck and the mire of the disaster called manhood, if he thrives in that, then those other men will get him.
And I'd venture to say that what she just said about Michael, you can also say about Prince. Because Prince also bucked the system. Prince went against the big music. When Prince changed his name to a symbol in order they would not be, they was hot, baby. Hot. And Prince embodied masculinity and femininity. That's not what men are supposed to do. But Prince was still able to bag any woman. Prince and Michael, although Michael became the bigger star, Prince and Michael exhibit the same things, and you have these two men who were geniuses, who were musical prophets, who died young. Because why? They were never supposed to make it to the place that they made it as two black men. Okay?
I dare say that this is going to be a stretch, y'all. Don't fight me. I dare say Michael is what the black man is meant to be.
Ooh.
And when one of us survived all of the attacks to thrive that way and become our apex self, they said, oh no, we can't have them doing that. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. I really believe that. Because a long time ago, I was taught that the black man was supposed to be the savior of the world. I was taught that a long time ago. I forgot by who. Do not quote me. But I come from a very pro-black family. Same. And they said black men at their full spiritual potential is the savior of humanity. I heard that so many times. And that's also where you hear people say, the black man is God and so forth and so on. I truly believe that. And no black man in modern history had gotten there because of all of the systemic issues. Because I'm not like I said, y'all, it's a new day. I'm not here to shit on no man. I'm really not. It's lame to me. I don't even waste the time. But I will tell the truth about you. Like I won't be argumentative or problematic toward you, but I will point out the consistency of the truth of your history. That's as far as I'll go. So with that being said, a lot of brothers who had this potential was getting offed because they had done it through politics, because they had done it through activism, and because they had done it through the church. So because they were using the obvious route, they were getting cut off. Because Michael used music, it was slept on.
Yep.
And because the white tea people saw that they could make money off of it, they was like, nobody cares about what a black man has to say. We're going to let him keep tap dancing for money, and nobody's going to take him serious. Well, that backfired. And Michael will tell you this multiple times in different interviews. They thought I was a clown. They thought I was just going to sing, chuck, and jive. They really underestimated me. He says this. He's multiple times. It's not my words. Google it. And it showed right then and there. I said, oh, my goodness. Michael Jackson was a revolutionary. And he hid it under talking lighter and seeming non-threatening. And being with the children.
And moonwalking.
And minding my business. And I love Quincy Jones.
And listen, I venture to say, because somebody mentioned it and I don't want to ignore it, they knew that he had a plan when he started buying up all of them catalogs that a black people have access to. That man owned the Beatles catalog, Eminem's catalog. He bought so many catalogs and wouldn't sell them back to Sony. And the way he talked about Tommy Mottola and Sony, he literally called Tommy Mottola the devil.
The devil.
He called that man Satan. So when you have somebody who is him and Prince, you have two truth seekers and truth tellers. Mm-hmm. When in this world, in the history of this world, even if you're a Christian and you want to take it biblical, when have truth tellers ever been fully accepted, fully embraced by the empire and power? When has that ever been the case? No, those people are crucified and destroyed. At some point,
every time,
taken up out of here every single time, especially if they have Michael of everybody. Michael had the capacity to unite people that would never have been united otherwise. Do you think they wanted that?
Michael Jackson sold out the desert. I want you hoes to remember, Michael Jackson sold out a desert, not an arena, people flew from all over the world to go to Bucharest. When the last time you hoes been to Bucharest? Can you spell Bucharest? Michael Jackson sold out a desert. It was wide open desert. They just went and built some shit out there and was like, we having a show out here. So many people came to the desert. They had to stop people. They say it's sold out. How do you sell out the desert? Won't no seats? Won't no air conditioning.
It was just hot, and they was gonna stand
it was
for hours.
Hot. The lights, the stage. Michael was jumping up, boom, jumping up, boom, landing on stage. He sold out the desert.
Listen,
I will never forget that.
Good point, G. Thank you for saying it, because he sold out the desert, and he was crowned a king in I forgot what African remote tribe. They crowned him a king. He did that before the internet. Michael sold numbers like that before streaming was a thing. Michael just broke the record for digital digital artists that Justin Bieber has held. Michael just did that. He been dead 17 years. Why on earth is he still able to break that type of record? Because it's Michael.
Thriller is the only album that has gone 33 times diamond. What the fuck are you talking about?
And that's physical copies. Physical copies. Not streaming. Somebody said, how the hell you sell out an open field? You sell the desert, an open desert.
He sold out the desert, child. Not only did he sell out the desert, to this day, the only albums in competition with his albums is his own damn albums. Michael Jackson's albums sold so much that when he had an album sell 1 million in a week, they considered that his personal flop. Do you know how many albums you sell that if you sell 1 million albums in a week, they're calling it a flop?
That flop.
That was his version of failure. His version of failure is our today's favorite success.
Exactly.
I want you to think about that.
Melly, I agree with the Christ consciousness comment. Listen, girl, we got people up here saying they can't even go to bed. She said, I can't even get to bed to rest because they into the live. They into the live.
Ain't no going to bed. You up.
Listen, you up now.
Because it's for Michael Joseph Jackson. It's not even about me and her. It's for Michael Joseph Jackson.
At the very least, I ain't opposed to doing a part 2 for this. Just like they going to do a part 2.
I'm not opposed at all. We're going to have to do a part 2. All in all, Ash, I think this is going to be like a 3-part saga, because we need to do, in my opinion, the part 2 needs to be really about Michael and the stuff we've learned about him academically, like in the world.
Yep.
And then we're gonna wait until the next movie come out, and we're gonna be back. I don't care when that is, because we're gonna have to have a 2-part about that movie. But I also want to leave y'all with this, because I'm a spiritualist, and I want y'all to realize that because Michael Jackson is an indigenous Black man from Gary, Indiana, he's your ancestor now.
Thank you.
And I don't ever want you to forget it. You can pray for his soul. You can remember him, and you can love him no matter what anybody says. And I also want you all to keep in your hearts and in your prayers to remember Tito Jackson. The Jackson family lost 2 sons.
2 sons. Yep.
In 2024, Tito Jackson passed away as well. He was 70 years old. These are older people with stories now. They have history. They have individual legacies as well as collective. And we need to always remember each Jackson for each contribution they gave. They all gave us their childhoods. They all gave us their lives. They all gave us their tea. And they did it with their bloodline in mind. And the reason why they are always in a scandal and under attack is because whether he was right or wrong, Joseph Jackson elevated his bloodline in this dimension, and that cannot be forgotten. So you can have your opinions, you can have your feelings, and you can always stand on the right side of the conversation. But don't ever, ever forget that the Jackson family reminded Black people everywhere that our legacies, our names, and our blood can do divine things.
Ooh, I'm going to just breathe for a minute because I want to talk about these comments, but that ate. I ain't even going to let that ate. Whoo, the inspiration to Black people that this family, that is, we're not going to sit up here, but every family has problems. Every family has things that are not things that you hope would happen. And people have trauma. We hope to have healthiness and no abuse. And we know that that's not always true, but baby, the still inspiration that this family has had. I want to go over some of these comments real quick because now people asking for a series from us. Wait a minute.
And listen, y'all, don't think in my comments I forgot about y'all. What's happening to me is I get so passionate and excited that I stop looking down.
She stopped looking.
But I see that you all are participating, and I will be following up with all the new followers. I will be commenting with y'all, especially Lady FBA. I really liked a lot of stuff you had to say. Jazzin is living her best life in the comments. I'm seeing a lot of y'all participate. I'm seeing my Black men come in here and participate respectfully and lovingly. So I'm seeing y'all act right in the comments, but I'm going to let Ash read hers because I'm a little behind in mine.
Listen, and just to let y'all know, in our, if you're in my live and you haven't gone into Red's live to follow her, do that. Like, I don't know if you can follow her from my live or not, but if you can't, if you got to toggle between the lives to do it, make sure you do that. If you're in her live, come over to mine just so you can follow me and follow her. Thank y'all for following me. And listen, for those of y'all that have been engaging actively in these comments, if you followed me tonight, I am going to follow you back. Okay, that's it. That's all. I'm going to follow you back if you follow me and you've been in the comments. Some of these comments though, because yeah, me and Red are Libra. We are our scales. We balance each other out very well. Okay. Let me see. So I'm going to.
Oh, Ash, what's your count? I have 66 people in the live.
90.
Come on.
Monster High. The way that it pisses me off to even see her name. Don't bring up Taylor Swift in here. Now, they didn't say it in a bad way. They said they don't like the fact that they compare. No. Even Taylor, don't even say not even Taylor Swift. Nobody. Not Taylor, not Justin, not Chris, not Usher, not Beyonce. Nobody is Michael. Now, is someone like, let's say, Beyonce or Chris at that point where they are of this time one of the greatest performers or entertainers? Absolutely. But when you put them in the lineup with Michael, they fall away. I don't care how great they are. They are not Michael. They're just not. So I will always be clear about that. I can love other artists, but ain't nobody gonna ever be what Michael was. That to me, there are 3, and we've lost all 3 of them that are hard for me to put anybody over. And that's Michael, Prince, and Whitney. It's just hard for me. Might not be hard for others, but it's hard for me.
I would like to add as an honorable mention the great Luther Vandross.
Oh, absolutely.
Let me really talk to y'all real quick, because that Taylor Swift made my edges stop growing. Don't say no shit like that in here. Let me be very clear about something real fast. And this, I'm gonna be for real, because I could be delusional and outlandish and say Beyonce, but I'm gonna be for real. I'm gonna stop playing with y'all. The truth is, nobody will ever be Michael Jackson, but you can see the graduating students of the Michael Jackson class. And I think that means something. There are people who studied Michael Jackson's artistry and decided to apply their work ethic and their talent to it. And that is a thing. And I will go as far as to say, not to be offensive, TikTok don't come for me, none of them are YT. Yeah, there's a whole list of a generation of people who graduated the Michael Jackson class and they are iconic, but none of them are YT.
Monster, how you did not offend. I just wanted to point it out because I saw Taylor and instantly went red in the
No, baby, you didn't offend. You didn't offend nobody. I think everybody in both chats have been nice and respectful for the night. Shout out to the 71 people that just came in here.
Y'all have been great.
So I'm not gonna say you tried to shade Michael. I don't think that's the vibe Ashley was giving at all.
I just saw Taylor's name and was like,
And since we brought her up, let's just go there real fast. Taylor Swift is a YT supremacist revolutionary act against Black artists. YT people purposely support her so that her numbers can reflect higher than her contemporaries that are non-white. And I'm not going to keep arguing with y'all about it. There is nothing about that girl. She's not even Madonna. She's not even Carrie Underwood. She's not, like, let's not. I'm not even gonna make it about race.
Clarkson,
I'm not even gonna make it about race. Let me chill out with that. I'm not gonna act like Black people are the only people that's talented. I'm not even gonna take it there. I'm gonna talk about my YT favorites. She ain't outdoing Pink. She ain't outdoing
Adele.
JoJo.
Adele.
You ain't outdoing Adele. You ain't outdoing Hillary Duff, bitch. You're not outdoing
Amy Winehouse. Ain't even here no more.
First of all,
tell me nothing about Amy Winehouse.
All of you young YT girls better be glad Amy Winehouse kicked the bucket, because she had you hoes in fear. She was making music that no one else could make. But I also want to remind you, she was making Black music. Here nor there. Here nor there. Here nor there. Here nor there. I'm not even finna upset y'all like that. Also, Taylor Swift's not even touching Gaga. Y'all are not about to play with me with that girl.
Listen, let me be clear. Taylor Swift, if you ask me, I'm going to take it old school and throwback for y'all. Taylor Swift ain't a Tina Marie.
Taylor Swift ain't Cyndi Lauper. Stop playing in my face.
Taylor Swift isn't, what was the Carpenter girl name? Because she was bad too.
Sabrina.
Not the
Sabrina
Carpenter. New Carpenter girl, not Sabrina.
Oh, you talking about the old Carpenter girl?
Old school Carpenter girl who passed away because she had body image issues. Karen. Thank y'all in the comments. Taylor Swift, even if we take white performers, women, Taylor Swift don't matter.
She's not there. She's not there. Taylor Swift ain't Cher. Okay? Taylor Swift, she's not. Taylor Swift is not, in all caps. Stop playing in my face. Listen, and let me tell you something. As somebody who graduated in 2008, I was definitely singing Trouble When You Walked In. I'm not saying the girl ain't shit. I'm saying she ain't a superstar. That's what I'm saying. And I'm not going to let people play in my face talking about her record sales. Her record sales are not indicative of her talent. Her record sales are indicative of her team. And y'all better learn the difference between good business and good talent. Taylor Swift has the machine behind her. And the reason why she has the machine behind her is because Kanye, Devontae, ignorant ass West insulted YT people when he insulted her when she won that award. Taylor was not destined to be who she is today before that incident. Hence why it was a lot of drama when he was like, if it wasn't for me, there would be no Taylor. And then she went and gave that speech about how people will try to take credit for your success. Girl, there are a bunch of people who are owed credit for your success. And we're not going to, your managers, your choreographers, your stylists, your political affiliation, Taylor, the Proud Boys donated money to you. Girl, you're a YT supremacist mascot.
She's a marketing star. She's a marketing star. A lot of people are marketing stars. Marketing is what made them great. Her ex-boyfriends is what made her great. Her writing the same song and having the same album over and over again.
Thank you.
No growth to Taylor
Swift.
As
somebody said that hoe ain't even Miley Cyrus. Correct. Correct.
Okay? 'Cause
Miley
like
is
a
who
wrecking ball
Taylor
from
should have
field goal.
been. I'm sorry, I said that backwards. Taylor is who Miley should have been. Miley was on the road to be what Taylor Swift is. But you know where Miley went wrong at? Miley and her daddy is too nice to the Negroes. Miley is out here twerking and making bangers. And what they do not like is when a precious YT girl submerges herself in blackness, that blacklists them.
Okay, I have a bit of a caveat there because I think where Miley went wrong is the same place where Justin Timberlake went wrong for so many of us. Do not appropriate and use our culture to get us and then act like that's not what you did. Like, I think that's where Miley and Justin went, just to bring in Justin Timberlake.
I would not play Miley as to compare her to Justin Timberlake. I do not think that's the same situation at all, friend. I think that Miley was sincere when she went playing with us, and the abuse and the ridicule she came under for hanging with us, all white people don't have the stomach to take it. So they'll go, you know what? Being an N-word lover was too much for me. I'm going to go home. And that's what I think she did. I don't think it was fake.
Okay.
I really don't. I think she was sincerely submerging herself in black culture. And when Nashville and them got up in her ass, she said, "Sorry, Negroes, I have to go home."
Sorry,
and she left. That's what I think happened with Miley. Justin Timberlake, on the other hand, is a motherfucking grift.
Yeah, it is.
And I'm so hurt because who was a bigger fan than me, you hoe?
Wait, we gotta go back. Hey, Go Sell, I miss you. You missed a lot, honey. I'm gonna try to post this live on YouTube. I'm gonna try to download it and post it because you missed a lot.
That's a good idea.
Johnny Blaze, you know what, honey? Thank you. We always need to get pulled back, and thank you. We gonna get back to Mike. We done went off on this tangent.
Oh, no, I don't
know how we got here because somebody mentioned Taylor Swift in respect to Michael, and then it just went off. So we gonna get back. Don't even bring up Britney Spears, honey, because absolutely better than Taylor. Anyway, we gonna get back to Michael. So we have been discussing the film. If you have not seen the film, please go see it. You are not going to learn anything new. Well, yes and no to that. But it's a lot of what we already know, but we also get to see parts of Michael that we did not know. Find Michael. And this is Jaafar, his nephew, Jermaine's son, who played him in the film, who ate. Okay? So we've been talking about the film and giving different perspectives on different scenes. Listen. At the end of the day, I genuinely do feel like we can make this a second round type of thing because it's a lot. We didn't even get, like, so far in the film, we haven't even gotten to the damn victory tour. We didn't even get there because we got to the Pepsi commercial. We did mention the Pepsi commercial and how the movie really did go a lot more in depth there.
Hey, Ash, hold on. Somebody said, can we talk about which era Michael could have got it from us?
We talked about that in
you must just be coming in. We definitely discussed that. But you can leave in the chat which era of Michael would have got you, and I'll try to bring it up.
Which era of Michael would have had you throwing your drawers off? Because we all know the era it is for us. It's multiple eras for me.
I would have gave Michael Coochie all the way to the end, even though he wasn't as cute no more. I would have gave him Coochie off the strip.
Why my husband?
Because genetically, he still had the good genes.
Why did my husband say he had me dying laughing? Because they showed a clip of the "You Are Not Alone," I think, video. Because at the "You Are Not Alone" time, he was with Lisa Marie Presley, and I said Michael could have had me right then. He said, "Oh, so you like white?" He was like, "Oh, so you're attracted to white women?" I said, "How dare you? How dare you say such things? You're unhinged." I said, "Listen, it doesn't matter. I still knew that was Michael, and Michael could have gotten me no matter what." Okay, but yes, and somebody over here said bad for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Listen, bad.
The front of the bad album would have been my Coochie lips and bad in the title.
But not just bad. Let me make sure I got the correct album for this damn song. Dangerous. Remember the time, Michael? Oh, honey.
No, honey. I'm gonna tell you when y'all keep skipping. Stranger in Moscow.
I knew it. I was gonna say keep it in the closet. Same thing.
Same shit. People are gonna stop disrespecting me, acting like Dangerous wasn't that era. Dangerous was that era. Because Dangerous, Michael is full grown. Michael is the age we are now. What is he, 38, 39, Dangerous?
Dangerous was 1991, so Dangerous is...
Nah, Bad is 1993.
Nope, Bad is 1987, ma'am.
What? Hold on, my timeline fucked up. So, okay, so hit me with the timeline.
Let me break off the timeline from when Michael went solo.
Talented Camardi, I hope I said your name right. You are absolutely correct. The Dangerous album was better than Thriller, and that's why people gonna stop playing with me about that Thriller bullshit.
Listen, Thriller is just nostalgic for people, and so they place it at that #1 spot. But Dangerous and Bad was better than Thriller. Off the Wall was better than Thriller. But let me tell y'all the years. Let me do the timeline. So Off the Wall was 1979. Thriller was 1982. Bad was 1987. Dangerous was 1991. History Continues was 1995. Invincible was 2001. Michael was 2010. Then you have Escape, which came out after he passed away.
Yeah, it's posthumous. What about Blood on the Dance Floor? That
Blood
got
on the
skipped.
Dance Floor is on which album? Blood on the Dance Floor.
No, Blood on the Dance Floor is an album.
Oh, wait a minute. It don't show up as an album, and I'm looking on Apple, and they got all his albums. Hold up. Wait a minute now.
I used to love that. Because Susie's got your number. Let me tell you something about that Blood on the Dance Floor.
Let me see. Hold on. And y'all, we're going to listen. We're going to listen to some music to wrap up on here tonight. But let me see something. Blood on the Dance Floor is... That ain't on that album. What the hell are they talking about? Hold on. Blood on the Dance Floor is on... Michael Jackson's 1995.
1997.
It says 95. Wait. Let me see this. This is inaccurate. You said it say 1997?
May 20th, 1997.
97. Yep. Get Blood on the Dance Floor is classified as a remix album. 97.
But it had 5 new tracks.
Yes, it had 5 new tracks. There we go. Okay.
Listen.
Yes. Baby.
When listen. I tell y'all that's my father, baby, daddy, husband, uncle.
Sophie. So, okay, we'll do this again since we got tons more people in here right now. We'll do this again to wrap us from the film review tonight, and we're going to play some music too, because I promised we would play some Michael songs before we wrapped up. So she asked, which we already discussed, what is your favorite Michael Jackson video? I already said mine will never change. It is Remember the Time. Period.
And I had some unorthodox choices. I have top two favorites. They're tied. And that was Who Is It? And Leave Me Alone.
So my video is Remember the Time. Hers is Who Is It? And Leave Me Alone, because she couldn't pick just one.
Ooh, Talented Camardi said one of my favorites as well, which is Ghosts.
Ooh, okay.
Ghosts was excellent. For all my Thriller people, if you didn't see Ghosts and appreciate it, I'm confused. Because Ghost made Thriller look like Cracker Jacks.
Thank you, Brenda. I'm absolutely gonna download this and post this on my YouTube page. So listen, just to tell y'all, me and Red, make sure you're following us both. We both do lives every now and then. A lot of times I'll do lives. I'm not as consistent as I used to be, but we might make this movie thing and show thing a thing. But when we have long lives like this, I can't repost this to TikTok. So I can repost it to my YouTube page. So make sure you're following that over there. And then you can see these lives over there afterwards. Remember the time.
I will post it to my YouTube as well. I'm also going to take my top 5 favorite clips of this broadcast and cut them up and put them on here. But Ash, close your eyes again.
Oh, all right.
When I'm not with the FNT, I also do my own little addictive nerdy things. So right now I'm currently reading It by Stephen King, the actual book, y'all. And then you can open your eyes again. And then once I'm done with the book, I'm then going to turn it into Film Club. I'm going to cover the miniseries from the 90s. I'm going to cover the remake films from the mid-2010s. I'm also going to cover the new TV show from HBO called Welcome to Derry. And I'm also going to unpack documentaries from Stephen King himself and the inspiration behind his work. And I want to give y'all this homework as you continue to follow me. My coverage of It is discussing how Pennywise the Clown represents the patriarchy. and each one of his victims discusses an area of patriarchy he's using to attack them. So that's where I'm coming from. We do this film literary shit, okay? She has an excellent book club. I don't know if she's bringing it back. I hope she does.
Yeah.
But you got to pay to play in these book clubs, y'all. We're not playing with y'all. We got bills.
Yeah,
we've been on here for hours.
The book club is more therapeutic because I can do a book club no matter where you live. You can join the book club, and it's kind of a therapeutic type of book club from my mental health background and working in this field. So yes, and if you're wondering why I think somebody might have asked, the reason she had me close my eye, I have a strong fear of clowns, and whatever's on the cover of that book, she wanted to make sure that it didn't trigger me, which is what friends and sisters do. So that's why I had to cover my eyes. And that's the only film review she will not be a part of because I know she's not going to watch it, you guys. I'm not going to watch
it. But that's going to be my only solo project. If we do move forward upon your request with doing film reviews, I will always, as a good friend, make sure we're choosing things we both can commit to. I don't want to freak her out because fear is real, y'all. She do not fuck with clowns.
I don't fuck with clowns. Smooth Criminal is a good choice of video, honey, for sure. That's when we saw the lean. Black or white, yes. Strangers in Moscow. Okay. Thank y'all for the bounties too.
Black and white don't get enough respect. They literally invented a technology for the video. I don't think we talk about that enough.
Thank you so much. Somebody said the way he grabbed that girl's legs and blood on the dance floor, splash. And you're right. This splash. Michael was that deal as far as being attractive and a sex symbol. He wasn't playing. Moonwalker. Yep. Scream. A lot of people said Scream was their favorite video on another. When I was on somebody's post over on Threads, they were like, Scream was their favorite video. Ooh, Daisy Liberian Girl. I love that.
I enjoyed Scream a lot, but it is not my favorite.
Scream is still the most expensive video ever
made. Ever. I also want people to jog your memories. Do you remember when Scream was in color?
Yep, sure do.
They made two versions, one in black and white and one in color. And they used to show the one in color. And you've got to be old enough to remember that because now to this day, if you look up Scream, they push their black and white hard. But once upon a time, Scream was in color.
Yep. And while we're on it, his great videos and just his accolades, I need people to understand that this film, Michael, has now surpassed every biopic ever made. This has surpassed Bohemian Rhapsody and Oppenheimer. So he is the #1 biopic ever made.
Ray and What's Love Got to Do with It?
Yeah. And that's also a thing when we talk about Jaafar. Some people felt like, oh, he doesn't look enough like his uncle. Let me tell you something. If you are a good enough actor and you can embody a person, it doesn't matter. Jennifer Lopez didn't look like Selena, but that's the greatest role she ever played. Malcolm X, Denzel Washington, no. But still, Jamie Foxx, Jamie Foxx don't look like Ray Charles.
Angela Bassett don't look shit like Tina Turner. What are we talking about?
You believed it.
Lorenz Tate don't look shit like Frankie Lyman. What are we talking about? And he damn sure don't look like Barry Gordy either. Okay? That's not the point.
You don't have to look like somebody to embody them. And if you ask me, because if we go back to what we said earlier in the live about Michael being a messenger of God and Michael having that Christ consciousness and all those things, you're not going to convince somebody that believes in spirituality and the ancestors. You're not going to convince me that he did not come down into his nephew, because he did in some of those parts.
You're not going to convince me that Jaafar Jackson didn't do what it took to summon him, because Jaafar Jackson said, show me what my uncle's rehearsal schedule was. I will do it. Take me to the house he used to rehearse in. I will go there. Show me the clothes. I will wear them. See, my thing is very similar to Denzel Washington. If y'all ever want to go see an interview, Denzel Washington said when he got the role for Malcolm X, he said, take me to the nation. I will not eat pork. See, you have to put your vessel in the state to call the spirit. When Denzel got finished doing Malcolm X, he said he had to take a break because he was just now resurfacing and getting his body back.
Yep.
That's a real thing. And when you are a bloodline relative, I can only imagine how powerful that invocation can be. So I'm not going to lie. Jaafar Jackson, all I could see was Michael looking at him. A lot of you hoes didn't grow up with an imagination, and it shows. When you go to a film, you have to convince yourself first that you're seeing the truth. If you're going to watch it to pick it apart, then of course you're going to see that they don't look just alike. He's his nephew, not his damn son, and he is biracial. So of course he doesn't look like a full-blooded black man. That's impossible. But he embodied Michael. He could wear his clothes very well. I mean, hell, Chadwick Boseman don't look like James Brown. What the fuck are we talking about? He don't look like Thurgood Marshall. Like, let's say some Viola Davis. Damn sure don't look like no goddamn Michelle Obama. But she played the hell out of her in that HBO First Lady special. So tap into your imagination and spiritually connect with the reenactment. You're not watching a documentary. You're watching a reenactment. Correct. These things are not going to be exact. And I land, because that just, did you hoes see Barney? Did you grow up and just imagine? Where's your imagination? Barney, for real, in case y'all missed it, because I see y'all hoes are slow. Barney was a toy. The children he is playing with imagine he's a dinosaur. So we are watching children imagine the toy is big.
Never
Barney
real.
ass never actually got big, bitch. When you grew up watching Rugrats, they was imagining that the box was a safari truck. Not that the damn box had wheels and was moving, bitch. That's why when Dee Dee came outside and got Tommy ass, you saw her lift him out of a box, bitch. It's imagination.
Okay. I'm gonna read some of y'all comments because not y'all laughing. Listen, millennial memories. Do you hear me? Listen, Puda's mama, that CGI Bubbles threw me a little off too. I ain't even gonna lie to you. That CGI Bubbles had me like, nah, I know that ain't no real monkey. That's CGI. Why y'all doing this to Bubbles? But real quick information on Bubbles. Bubbles is still alive. So Bubbles is 46 years old, and Bubbles had to go to a sanctuary once he got too big, because he did bite somebody, a woman, and somebody else. And so when Michael had his kids, they told him, no, this is not going to be safe with your kids. So he put Bubbles in a sanctuary and went to visit Bubbles damn near every day until he died. And Bubbles, when Michael died and did not show up to visit him, within 2 weeks, Bubbles fell into a depression. So I need people to know that was, you can really connect with an animal that you raised like that. And so Bubbles is still alive though, 46 years old, taken care of by Michael Jackson's estate still, and LaToya visit him. So just want to throw that little tidbit out.
And the Michael Jackson estate paid extra for Bubbles to receive art therapy to process grief. And he paints pictures of Michael.
Yep.
And that's how they truly knew he grieved Michael. Yep. But they said that Bubbles became a natural leader in his habitat amongst his other chimps, and that he lives pretty well. So
he lives better than some humans.
Bubbles. Yep. Yeah, shout out to Bubbles. Bubbles is extremely intelligent, and I think, without sounding crazy, because I know y'all gonna be like, what? Bubbles is Michael Jackson's first child.
Absolutely.
And I know that's hard for people to understand because people sometimes don't see animals that way. But Bubbles went everywhere with Michael. I would dare say, no disrespect to his children because I'm not trying to be funny. I would dare say Michael's and Bubbles had a truer parent-child bond.
Like, when Bubbles was small, Michael was literally able to talk to Bubbles like it's a kid. It was an interview they did, and Bubbles was sitting there trying to get into his cup, and he said, "Sit down." I was like, oh, that was a black daddy that stepped out right there. Sit your ass down. It was a black daddy moment that came out right there with Michael. But, him and Bubbles, that was a legit. And again, that's like I said earlier when we were talking about, seeing neurodivergence through this film and Michael. The hyperfixation with animals goes beyond wanting friends. Because there was a scene in the film where he's sitting at the table with his mother and she says, don't you want to meet some friends? Some people? And he was like, I do, but they all just stare at me and want to look at me. And he knew that people didn't see him anymore as a person. So animals became his friend. And so that's why he had the animals. But he also knew a ton about animals because he hyperfixated on learning about them, which is often a trait in autism, you hyperfixate on a thing and you learn everything there is to learn about it. So
I got a monkey he could have hyperfixated on. No, I tell you that I wouldn't have just looked at him.
there's always a point when me and Red do lives together that I know that it's time to reel us in and shut down. That's the see where she just went with that. We can listen to some music now, cause see, we back to giving Michael the monkey, different type of monkey. We
always back to giving Michael the monkey. Always. If you talk about Michael long enough, you're gonna get back to your human nature.
To your human nature. Well, you know what? Let's play some clips of some Michael since we just, you know what? Why not? Why not?
We're not going to sit here and act like I'm the only person that wanted to shake that monkey for Michael. I'm not.
We're not.
Going to play.
We would never tell that lie. We would never tell such a lie. Somebody said, okay, not VB Reading said, okay, I got a game of Twister he could have played. You know what? Period. Oh, on YouTube, Brenda, I am Ash the FNT. Ash the FNT. ASH the FNT. All right.
And on YouTube, I am still the Red
Lipstick Vixen. She's on YouTube as well. And when I post this on YouTube, I'll make sure to put her as a collaborator so that you see the both of us for it.
Thank you, Peculiar Sarah. She's following both of us.
Thank you. Yes, thank y'all all for the follow. So listen, what we're going to do is we're going to play some Michael music. And when I play music, you can still hear us talking and hear the music, so we can still chat while we listening. But we listen to
okay, well, whatever songs you pick, we're going to talk about our thoughts on that song.
Okay, whatever song I pick. Okay. Okay.
Oh, somebody said I was 10 when he passed, but I cried throughout the film because it felt like I was seeing Michael.
Now you got me like,
okay.
Yeah, hold on.
I was 18 when he passed, and it was hard. Y'all, real fun fact. I can laugh about it now, but it wasn't funny at the time. So Michael Jackson passed away June of 2009, and my mother passed away August of 2009. And she passed away a couple of days before his birthday, right? So I'm down, y'all. Like, I'm big crying. I'm hurt, right? So my people's coming in. He go, baby, what's going on? You okay? I said, how God gonna take my mama and Michael Jackson at the same time?
Yeah, that's a lot. I ain't even gonna lie to you.
So we laugh about that now. My uncle said it took all he had out of the bus I left. Because people always think I'm joking, you know what I'm saying? But apparently that's a running joke in the family, because they was like, there's no way you was grieving Michael equally to your mother. And I hate to disappoint them, but I was. I
was 24 years old with a 1-year-old baby. My oldest daughter was 1. I was 24. I was in my living room. Me and her were watching TV. We'll never forget. We were watching 106 in Park, listening to the videos because she loved music. She still loves music. They broke and said, we have some terrible, tragic news. I froze for a moment in time, and then I cried uncontrollably. My mother was driving. I called her. She said, no, I'm on the side of the road. I had to pull over. My father is a musician and a barber. He was cutting hair. He canceled all of his appointments for the rest of the day. That day is one that I will never forget. When I tell you, I know people talk about parasocial relationships and why are y'all close to these people that you never knew personally. I don't think people understand how music literally can make you feel connected to somebody, and it will resonate to where they write things that make you, that get you through things, that get you through moments in life. Like, that was Michael for people. That was Prince for people. That was Whitney for people. That was Tupac for people. That was Aaliyah for people. Like, I don't get why people can understand how important music is and how spiritual music is, but then not get how you can be connected to the deliverer of the music. Yes, we grieved him like he was a legit part of our life in real life. That's just what it was.
Okay? Yeah, I was big hurt. I cried the juiciest tears. I sat in the dark, and I was so fixated on it that I did not eat. I did not get anything to drink. I was actually on summer vacation at my uncle's house, and in his guest room, I stayed in there, and I cycled the TV between MTV, BET, VH1, repeat. Because it was different news stories. It was different videos they were showing. I mean, for those of y'all who may or may not remember, they shut television down. Yeah. It was, and Farrah Fawcett passed away the same day, and nobody gave a damn.
Nobody talks about her.
And it was sad.
Farrah was iconic in her own right.
And I remember her family came out, and it was like, our loved one passed too. And we was like, oh, we sorry, that's true. But Michael Jackson is gone. Like it was a hard time.
when I found out there was an active war in the Middle East when Michael died, it stopped.
Yeah.
His death stopped a war for
Yeah.
hours. They stopped fighting.
They just stopped mid-battle. They was like,
people, Michael dead. Wait a minute.
Yeah, it was an international state of mourning.
People stopped working. People were on the side of the road because they were driving when they found out. Like, it was legit. Listen.
That only happens to world leaders. I want you to understand what I'm saying. International mourning, that's what they did for the Queen. That's what they did for Kennedy. You see what I'm saying? That's what they did that for Michael Jackson. Nobody was arguing. Nobody was voting. Nobody was holding award ceremonies. The world stopped when Michael Jackson stopped breathing. And my thing was, what hurt me so bad was, I never forget, my uncle opened the door real slow. It was like day 3. He said, "Hey, baby, I love Mike too, but you got to come up out this room.
You got to come out. You got to."
He said, "I ain't even seen you go to the bath."
I didn't.
He said, "I can't let you sit in here another day."
I had no appetite for a few days. I didn't want to eat.
I didn't do that, and I cried in my uncle's arms like that. And he was like, "Hey, I grew up with the guy." He said, "This do hurt. I ain't gonna play with you. I get it." He said, "Come downstairs, get you something to eat." I was on day 3, y'all. 7:30 at night. My uncle had to come in there and get me.
I believe it.
I hadn't washed ass. I'm telling you, I was terrible. I was in there in my same
I was already a parent. I functioned because I had a child. That was
because you had a child. That makes
younger.
sense.
Somebody thanks Jazz, and she's like 24 in 2009. Wait a minute, you only look 30. Listen, I'm not ashamed of my big old age. I will be 41 this year. Okay, so yes, I had a child in 2009 when Michael passed, and I only functioned because of her. Because I was like, well, I got to take care of my baby, but I had no appetite. I was distraught.
It was bad. And then my mother called me because I wasn't at home. So my mother called me in the state she was in versus the state I was in my uncle's house. And she said, "That's all right, baby. You want to come home early?" And I was like, "Yeah." So I skipped the rest of my whole summer trip and went home. And me and my mother watched his funeral on TV together. And I remember she cried the whole time through. Like she hurt with me. Other people I was related to, they felt it. And it was sad for everybody. But nobody was upset like me and my mama. Because she went to go see him when Thriller was out. She saw the Jackson 5. She was pregnant with my sister. She remembers watching the TV show. So for her childhood best friend left Earth as far as she was concerned. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, everybody felt so much love for the Jackson family. So people was hurting for them as well. And then on top of all of that, my mother passes away the week of his birthday. Mm-hmm. And I remember for her service, I wanted them to sing the Stevie Wonder song that they sang for Michael, because I remember her watching it with me saying, "That's a beautiful song." It was "They Won't Go When I Go." Stevie Wonder performed that for Michael Jackson, and I wanted that for my mom. So Michael Jackson's unaliving not only hurt me as a fan, it hurt me as I shared that with my mother. And I felt like the number one thing we shared in pop culture, as well as her life, ended at the same time.
Oh, wow. See? Yeah, it's real. It's real. But listen, I'm telling you, I couldn't watch, as far as his siblings go, during that, especially like that first maybe 6 months, I couldn't see Janet at all. Like when they would show Janet or ask her a question, I couldn't, because I would break down, just because her and Michael were the closest, if you ask me, as far as a brother and sister. He was close. They were all close, but him and Janet shared a special relationship, and I could not stand to see Janet. Then to find out that Janet was recording "Why Did I Get Married To?" and that scene where she tears up that damn house was because Tyler told her, "Let it out. Do whatever you need to do." He had to pay $70,000 for all the shit she broke. She wasn't supposed to do all that. But he told her, "Go off. You just lost your brother. Go off." And she let it out, as she should have. But knowing that now, that scene is hard for me to watch. It's hard for me to see her. That John Mayer. Yep. It just, listen, Michael was.
It was a lot.
It was a lot, and we are going to absolutely talk again about this film and things that we didn't talk about tonight, but we're going to play a couple songs. So Red said whatever song I picked first. So I'm going to pick one. Let me see if my thing is... That was my first pick. I just randomly picked one. Now give us your thoughts on each song that plays. I'm not going to play the whole thing, just snippets.
Mike, close your eyes as I sit this thing on top of you. Don't try to fight it. There ain't nothing that you can do. Relax your mind. I'm about to lay you out, 'cause when you feel that heat, ride it! Share that beat of love. Come on and rock with me all night. Rock me into. I wanna rock with my. That's some beautiful lyrics. He was. Let me stop playing this bad song.
Now, I'm going to skip around from album to album. I'm not going to stay on the same album. I'm going to skip around and do the snippets. So next for me. He was singing this to me. That's why I played this one next.
Petersburg, Virginia. It's so tender. It's falling off the bone.
Don't you know now? You know now. Hey, deal with her. My jaws hurt from laughing.
Come on and love me.
Something's wrong with her. I love everything that's wrong with her, though.
Shout out to Mike. I did my exes like this tonight. Tender love and care. Yes, Off the Wall is an iconic album. Yes, y'all in the comments. Tap your screen. We still in here, ain't we?
Okay, now next song is a personal favorite. Okay, I don't care what nobody say. This is a personal favorite.
Okay, hit me with it.
I got to hear it. I just got to hear the intro. That's all I got to hear. Y'all understand? I sang this song like my life depended on it every time it played.
Oh, I'm gonna make you stay here. Sit your ass down. I'm not leaving shit be.
This song was made for the stalkers. It was made for the Michael stalkers.
I don't seduce every man. It's just your ass. Let's go.
It's you.
Hey, baby, do what you want. Give you the thing that you need. Dirty Jasmine, no, don't you be a hoe. Stop
Listen,
acting
Nelly,
like
and
that,
proud of it.
girl.
Proud
Dirty
of it.
Jasmine, look at me. Somebody said this is the nastiest instrumental. It is.
It is.
This instrumental is crazy.
All right.
The musicians fan after the curtains come down.
Let's stick with Bad real quick. I'm gonna switch to another one.
Are we sticking with Bad real quick? Okay.
I'm sticking with Bad real quick.
Oh, okay.
I'm sticking with Bad real quick.
You trying to get me to take my drawers off? This is a family show.
She said this is a family show. This is a family show. It is.
I don't know who that bitch is to this day, but when I see her, I'm a fighter in the streets.
And he had every star that existed in the world in this video. Every superstar was in this video.
Shout out to Jasmine Guy's fit. Do you remember that blazer she had on with that mimosa in the jeans?
I just watched the video yesterday.
With that. Okay, here's a thought about Liberian Girl. I want us to remember that Michael was very proud of blackness because, you know, Liberia is, if you know, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to whoever said he ain't like black women. Because, I mean, if you're a Liberian girl, I can only imagine what you look like.
Okay, hold on. Let's see what's going to be next. Let me see. Okay, I'm going to go with one that I don't hear enough people talk about.
Okay. Bitch. Let me tell you something. The Invincible album was sabotaged by Sony because every song on here was bangers. I don't want to leave my baby alone. I don't want nobody else to That's the chance I'll take. Baby, I'll stay. Haven't been waiting, no. If the angels don't come me back, I'll tell them bring it back to them. Sing! You're beautiful.
This song.
Each moment spent with you is simply wonderful. Girl, it's incredible.
I'll tell you right now, if any man were to say these words to me, I would have been like, what do you want in life that I can do?
And we're going to start with this coochie. Can't hold you close. Do you know how much a man love you if heaven is his destiny? Like, it's guaranteed. God told him, come on, my son, you're going to heaven. He go, hold on real quick. You just brought me her, though. I can't.
Just wait
what do you mean? If I'm going to heaven now, I'm going to heaven later. I'll go a little later, right?
Listen.
Huh? If I'm already going to heaven, if you already deemed me worthy, can't I just go in 5 more years?
Listen.
Can I bring her with me?
Now real quick, I'm gonna go deeper cut Michael. I'm gonna go old Michael. I'm gonna go young Michael. Okay?
If you play Ben, I'm gonna use that as an opportunity for my bathroom break. You play Ben, I'm not.
I ain't gonna play Ben, because I was gonna play Ben, but Ben gonna make me cry, so I ain't gonna play Ben.
I ain't gonna judge you. Let me let Michael marinate on the screen. Back to where I should have always stayed. And now I'm resonating to your story. And is it not enough for me to stay? Can't be I stayed away too long. Did I leave your mind when I was gone?
Yep, this always reminds me of American Dream. Every time I hear this, I think back to American Dream. This voice, like this singing voice, Michael, young singing. Do you hear how he was singing at this age? This is insane. Vocally, this is insane. His range. Oh. And fun fact, Jackie actually had the higher register. A lot of the songs where they're singing together in unison, like they're singing the chorus or whatever, Jackie is singing the highest part. His vocals were actually higher than Michael's, even though he was the oldest. Because Jackie, again, was like 19. His voice had already changed to that of a man. Jackie was singing the high parts. People sleep on Jackie. Jackie killed those high parts. 70s Jackie could have got it. Jackie was fine. Do you understand me? Somebody just asked for this. This is a cut that a lot of people don't know about either because this wasn't a solo off of this album. But this is from the Forever Michael album when he was a kid. He was a teen, I think, at this point.
Now, I don't want to see them numbers dwindle. Y'all supposed to still be engaging now. Put in the comments what you think about the songs. Have you ever heard them before? What is your earliest Michael Jackson memory and what song was that? How were you introduced to Michael Jackson?
How were you introduced?
You know what, Ash? Sometimes I feel like he was so determined to go against his old sound that he developed and created a new way of singing.
Yeah.
I think he still could just sing straight, but he was determined. Yes, and you can see that in his manifestation notes. Where he was like, I'm never going to be the little boy again. Or he wrote down, I will never be Michael Jackson again. I'm MJ. I saw that was
interesting. Himself.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, y'all. So I just need a snippet of this, and then I can go on because now she made me think about it, and now I gotta hear it.
Fat Girl said, "The first song I remember is I Saw Mommy Kissing Santa Claus."
Oh, the Christmas album. I just gotta hear the opening of this, and then I'll switch it, y'all. I promise. Oh.
The two of us needed no more.
This is the only song I could have done without my whole life.
But
you know what, y'all, respectfully, you know why I hate Ben. Let's talk about it.
Why?
Do y'all remember a horror film called Ben?
A what?
It was a horror film that came out called Ben.
Yes.
And it was a crazy white teen man who could control rats. Well, somebody, for some reason, decided to make this song
the theme of that movie. Yes.
And I ain't gave a damn about this song.
I was able to separate that because I just can't not have this. I ain't got to hear the whole thing. I just needed to hear that. I just needed to hear that. I just need to hear that. I promise. That's all I needed to hear. That's all I need to hear. Hold on. Let's go to...
Can you imagine getting unalived by rats and the last thing you hear is "Been the two of us"?
Okay, we'll go here real quick.
Shout out to all of y'all for the support. Y'all really want us to start doing more lives together. Listen, I think we can make it happen. Thank y'all so much.
Can.
Ooh, Teddy Riley did his big one.
Teddy Riley did his thing. You hear me?
Do you remember? The mic I have in my picture looks like Remember the Time mic a little bit.
Yeah, he has. Yes, that does look like Remember the Time mic still. Yep. It just seemed like heaven, so I...
See how good my coochie is, y'all? I keep telling y'all. How many of y'all remember Michael had sprained his ankle and was supposed to perform this at the Soul Train Awards, and he rocked the whole night sitting in a chair?
Yep.
Your fave could never turn a whole performance into a sit-down performance and still rock the house. He got so excited, he got up out that chair and went to hit that move anyway, and somebody just had to remind us that sit down.
Sit down, sir, before you break something else. All right, I think somebody mentioned this one in the comment section. Baby, this is my mama's song.
Talk to me nice.
This is my mama's song. I think somebody asked for this in the comments.
There'll be no darkness tonight. Lady, your love will shine.
They were friends. I saw them bloopers. They were, honey. The girl in the Thriller video said he was flirting the whole time. She said, baby, he was flirting and we had a connection. I don't think people thought we really did, but we did. I know it. Jay Bird, this would be this would be a beautiful song to walk out to at a wedding. Girl, yes. Oh, Lorraine. I don't think I've seen Gabriella.
Let's be walking me to some of it.
Oof.
Ooh, yeah. Let me stop playing. I got a real bouquet. Hold on, let me turn it up again. Here you go. I had to bring the vision to life. Who said they wanted to hear it at a wedding? Here you go, y'all. I had to bring it to life for y'all.
Wait, where is what I... Wait. I was looking for something. There we go. All right, y'all. I'm going to switch songs real quick. You know what? We're going to dig more into that on our second part of this. We're going to do a part 2 of our film review live. We spoke a little bit about Michael and Diana, but we will speak more on it. I have personal thoughts just as everybody else does about their relationship, but we'll talk about that on the second live. Yes, I have heard that remakes See Mary Rock.
I do want to get it. I do want to get it. She wants to get it, doesn't it? Naomi Campbell looked like chocolate incarnate. You hear me? Everybody wanted that little ruffly ass 2-piece. She wants to get it. Oh, she get it.
This video was very steamy. Very steamy video.
Let me tell you something. He did. Somebody said he looked real buff during the history tour. Now, word on the street is his personal trainer was Lou Ferrigno from The Incredible Hulk.
Wow.
Yes. So there was an era where Michael was solid. However, he said, and you can go on YouTube channel The Detail. The Detail is dedicated to all things Michael Jackson with accurate receipts and all. He said that he asked to become slim again because dancing was easier on his body at his lower weight. But there was an era where Michael had got
a little thick. Got a little thick in them thighs
on us, and it looked good. He was thick in that gold leotard. The gold leotard era, Michael was thick. Them shoulders, people used to think those was pads. Yep. That was my boy.
But as somebody who danced for years, I took tap, jazz, and ballet for years. Yes, more weight on your body makes it harder to dance. It does. Now, you got people who bigger and light on their feet, but I can understand him saying that.
As a plus-size woman who has been struggling with her weight since I was 8 years old, I did contemporary, tap, and hip-hop. And let me tell you something. It hurt. Mm-hmm. Even if you look graceful doing it, the impact on your joints and your muscles landing from jumping, spinning, you should be lighter. That's why, not to be fat phobic or anything, because I am overweight. This is why they're not chosen for tour. It's very rare you see overweight people, no matter how talented they are, being picked, because the fear is their body can't make it through the entire performance.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But I can cut a rug. I know I be on here playing. I knows what to do.
Yes, this is off the wall era Mike right here. Yeah,
and he could have got this coochie right off the wall too. Can't help it. If I wanted to, I wouldn't help it, even if I could. They talking about me and that time me and Michael was hooking up. See, I built a time machine. I go back in time and get Michael coochie all the time.
We love everything that's wrong with Red. We do. Yeah. She ain't wrong. She ain't wrong.
Yeah. And I would tell him, don't worry about it. I'm legal. I'm old. Matter of fact, I don't even exist in this time yet, so it's not a crime. I just want to thank y'all tonight. Y'all done got me to almost 20,000 likes. I do appreciate it. At our absolute peak, I had, hold on, let me do, y'all know how I like to do my stats for all my people who follow me regularly. So, tonight's overview consists of 2,000 live views, 57 new followers, 3 main gifters. Oh my goodness, I have 2 rewards in my TikTok live journey. What else do we have here? The channel has grown 5%. That's beautiful. Thank you all so much for the consistency and the support. I really appreciate y'all tonight. At the highest, consistently, I had 82 live watchers. I appreciate each and every last one of you for coming to the live. It reminds me of the good old days. Y'all really done inspired you, girl. I need to be back up in here. I see now we are currently at 31, and I thank you, 31, for still being here as we close out our show with the music and with our thoughts. And last but certainly not least, please, after you have followed me and shown me all that love, head over to Ash, the FNT, and do the same. This was her idea. She did the branding. She did the marketing. She did the design. She scheduled the night. She definitely deserves her flowers for making sure we shared our private phone call with y'all. Because this was the call.
This was the call. Thank y'all so much. Thank y'all. Again, if you've been over here, please hop over to Red. Follow her on her page. I will repost this live to my YouTube page, which is Ash the FNT. Red's YouTube page is RedLipStikVixen, same as her name here. So, and you could also get to my YouTube page from the link in my bio here on TikTok. If you forget, you can get to my YouTube there. I'm going to play 2 more. and we're going to ride on out. I'm going to play 2 more.
Oh, and y'all, don't forget to follow my Substack.
Yes, she's on Substack. She's on Substack.
RedLipStikVixen.
Yeah.
If you can't find me, you ain't looking for me. I'm the same bitch as every day.
Right.
You hear that? That's the pops of my coochie.
We're going to keep acting a fool. Yep, we're going to act a fool the whole time. That's what we're going to do.
There go that iconic stimming.
Thank you. Happy Mother's Day to all the mommies who are on here.
Oh, happy Mother's Day.
My mother said this was my favorite song as a child. She said I would dance around the house in her red high heels and could walk in them even though I couldn't fit them. This is how much I love this man.
You know what I think is cute? You know how sometimes when people get married, they do a performance for their guests? I would definitely act this out with a nigga, for sure.
Would. This is cute. I would.
Yeah, this is wedding vibes.
Giving me in ecstasy.
Do you remember at his 30th anniversary special on CBS he performed this?
Yes.
Okay. Now, of course, not to be racial, y'all, just saying the obvious. At the live performance, it was this real pretty tall brunette girl. And she did her thing. She was strutting. It was some model. I forgot who it was. Yep. She hit that stage. I said, walk, bitch.
Walk, okay? Eat it.
Because when Michael tell you, go on, girl, you got to step.
You got to step.
It's serious.
Irene said she just got home from seeing it for the first time. Just got home from the movies. Michael was amazing. Baby, listen, you're going to have to watch our film review on YouTube. I'm going to post this whole live on YouTube, okay? Tatiana Petites. That was the model that walked.
Now, somebody said, tell us what it's like to being a Michael Jackson fan in his prime. I'm going to be honest.
We were.
I can't say in good faith I was his fan in his prime. Mm-hmm. I was his fan in his comeback, right? Because you got to remember, when Invincible comes out, I'm 10 years old.
Let me see.
And I'm turning 11. So I discovered Michael backwards, right? I think my first memory of Michael Jackson, if y'all were here from the beginning, was him in the gold leotard. And that was him performing on the Dangerous tour. Yep. My mother bought the VHS tape. And I watched him perform Dangerous.
Yep.
I was so in awe that my mama said, oh, you like him, baby? Well, let me teach you who he is. And then she took me all the way to the Jackson 5 and brought me up to that Dangerous moment. And then I took my fandom of him from that moment and I rode it the rest of the way. So I can't say I was his fan in his prime because I'm too young. I'm not born until 1990.
Somebody asked what was Michael's prime because it was all prime. I can agree with the comment. Like, what era are you talking about? Were we there when Thriller first dropped? No, I wasn't born yet. The first thing I vividly remember is being 6 years old, standing in front of the TV and remember the time coming on for the first time. That's my first memory of Michael. Now, I listened to Michael before Remember the Time because my mama and them played him all the time. But I can't really remember like ages 2, 3, 4, 5. But I know my first introduction to my love for him was watching that Remember the Time video at 6 years old. Mm-hmm. Would some people say that was his prime? I don't know. But again, that was a good question. What wasn't his prime? Like, if you talking about when he blew up, like Off the Wall or Thriller, no, I wasn't born yet. Well, wait a minute. I might have been born.
I know Up on the House by the Jackson 5 for Christmas.
I wasn't born yet.
Did you ever hear Up on the House off their Jackson 5 Christmas album?
Yes.
I love Up on the House. I wore that out. But I think when we're breaking down his history and we try to find a prime for him, I'm going to always say that prime is from Off the Wall to Bad. That's what people would consider his prime. Yeah, I don't agree, but I'm saying if we look at it from a historical, organized, informational context, they try to act like Off the Wall through Bad is prime Michael Jackson. And they started to create a false narrative, because the narrative was false, that by the time Dangerous happened, he was on the decline. That's not true. There was never a Michael Jackson decline. Like I said, his least selling album still opened with 1 million copies sold worldwide, hard CDs. Yep. So I don't think he ever had a flop in his life. His flop is still a success. Do you know how amazing you are when your flops are still successes? So his least selling album was under like the tens of millions.
Was under the best selling artist of today.
Right.
Like,
That's crazy. So I
that's
don't think he
insane.
ever fell off. But, you know, if we're talking about, not to take it there, but I'm just being honest, if we're talking about the YT standard of the industry and
Mm-hmm.
his sales and the time that they were making the most money off of him,
It's
they're
through.
going to tell you off the wall through
Off the
bad.
wall through
And
bad.
Quincy Jones recorded all of that. That whole 10-year stretch is him and Quincy.
Yep. Yep. Now I'm gonna play one last song. I think this is a good one to wrap it up on, slow us down. I remember the Yellow Vest. If you're talking about the PYT poster, Pretty Young Thing, he was fine. He was fine then too, if that's the one you're talking about. Every grown man era was a snack. He was and was. So I'm gonna play one last song. I'm gonna make this one the last one, and we're gonna wrap up. Thank y'all so much. Again, make sure y'all following us. Make sure y'all find my YouTube page. Again, you can get to it from the link tree in my bio here, but it's Ashley FNT Red Lipstick Vixen. It's Red Lipstick Vixen on everything. And thank y'all so much. Like, y'all really interacted tonight, like really, and I appreciate it so much. I may do a live. Red be at my lives, and I'll bring her up anytime. But these, we definitely we in the works of doing more of these type of things. Film reviews. We could even get into music reviews and show reviews and things like that, book reviews. So hopefully y'all following both of us so you can catch when we putting things out. And we gonna make this a thing, because this was popping tonight. Y'all did good. Y'all did great out in them comments. All
They
right.
did. I'm talking about live follower engagement, liking, pushing us out to the FYP, and we needed this. And I'm not surprised that Michael Jackson was the vehicle that helped us get reinvigorated. That doesn't shock me at all, because
Still,
that's who he was.
that's who he was in life, and that's who he still is, able
And I
to.
think he would have liked this.
I do too.
Michael liked when his fans talked about him and had intellectual discussions and stuff. He
Yep.
actually appreciated that. So.
There was a person in the comment, Aaliyah, earlier. She said it, and I still remember she said it because it stuck out and it meant a lot to me. She was like, Michael would have loved y'all. Listen, warms my heart.
Wait a minute.
I hope he would have. Don't tell me that. But yes, listen, Michael was able to, at the time we're living in our world now, and in this country in particular, the fact that we can take a moment and escape with Michael and talk about him and feel joy. That, listen, he was otherworldly in that way and still is. So shout out to Michael. He is an ancestor now, and he's still healing. He is still healing from the ancestral realm. All right. Thanks, ladies. Greatly. Yes, we will have a part 2. We probably have a part 2 about this because, like I said, we didn't get to everything in the movie that we wanted to, but also they're bringing out a part 2 of the movie. So we'll absolutely talk about that one when they bring it out too. All right, y'all. Last song for the night. Feel like it's a good one. Slow us on down. Get us ready for bed.
I can't even nasty remix this. I gotta let this just. Fun fact, Michael Jackson did not write this particular song alone. I can't think of the gentleman's name, but he said he was inspired because his daughter was asking him, why did people do some of the things that they do? And he said it's just human nature. And maybe like a week or so later, Quincy reached out to him and was like, hey, I'm working on this song with Michael. He has this melody trapped in his head, and you're a great songwriter. I know you can help him get it out. And he and Michael Jackson met, and they really hit it off, and they both co-wrote this song. Google that for the man's actual name. Beautiful white tee brother. He had curly red hair at the time. Who knows what he looks like now? But he said that when Michael started singing,
Steve Porcaro.
Yes, he said when Michael started singing this song to him, he said, this is it. And he ain't never lied. Also, fun fact, Michael Jackson really did sneak out and talk to strangers to feel more connected.
Yep. Yep. Oh, the writer is from the group Toto. Okay.
Get out.
Yep.
Why? Come back into nature. Why?
This was a beautiful man. This was a messenger from God. We said it earlier. He was a messenger from God. He was a
I
wounded
cried in the
healer.
movie theater.
I did too.
This part, this specific scene, I started crying.
I did too.
And they showed how the way they filmed this movie was excellent. They showed how the laser lights went across all people, and they were all singing. And what I thought was beautiful was somebody who actually, I was in the movie theater with someone who said they were actually at that show.
Oh my God.
And the lady said out loud, "It was just like this. I was there." Oh, I was.
Wow.
It was too much, y'all.
Good night, y'all. Have a beautiful night. Have a wonderful night. Listen, if you're going through it tomorrow or any given day, pop on some Michael Jackson and at least let yourself escape and feel better for the moment. Because again, he's still healing even now. So let that heal you, because music is a healer. And join us when we come back. Join us when we come back, okay? We love y'all. You got anything else, Red?
I listen, the overwhelming support tonight. I cannot stress that enough. That is what we need, y'all. The encouragement, the commentary, the liking, the subscribing. Do it on every platform that you're currently utilizing. And listen, start throwing some cash. We ain't greedy. We ain't asking for too much. Sprinkle a little tip on you girls. Because we gotta take care of the business we need to take care of so we can have more time to spend with
to do these. Absolutely.
That's all. But we absolutely loved it. Y'all were respectful, you were kind, and you were brought together under the spiritual umbrella of Michael Joseph Jackson. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We will talk to y'all later. Good night.
Good night.
All right, Red. See you later.
Bye.